It is Tuesday night. I am Sean Stanley. He is Frankie Fresco. Together we're the Squared Circle Digest. How are we doing today, Frankie?
We're doing good, man. Holding up. How about you?
I am holding up, man. Trying to find gas in this area of South Florida is about the craziest thing that we've got going, I think, down here, right?
I don't know why we're running out of gas like crazy, but I mean, I know it was the rain situation we had, but yeah, I am also seeing that a lot of people are getting into fights at some of these gas stations, so that's crazy.
Soon we'll be able to talk about that. We'll have that here on the Squared Circle Digest. We'll have the
Yeah.
gas station brawls right here on the Big O Radio Show YouTube channel. As I said, I'm Sean Stanley, and he is Frankie Fresco. And for the next hour or so, we're going to talk the exciting world that is pro wrestling. And we got a lot in store for you here on this program here today. And again, we're going to talk a little bit WWE. This is how our show usually works. So I'm going to do a little bit of the ratings. We'll talk a little WWE, and then Frankie will get AEW. Then we'll talk a little AEW. No, and then we usually break it up that way. One, it's easier for me to cut up and put out on the sound bites, and I'm all about trying to make it as easy as possible for me, since I got a little bit to do here. But
You're busy.
And then make sure you're in on the chat. This is a very interactive show. Any questions you got? Again, try to keep us on topic, though. If we're talking WWE, let's, throw out chats as much as you want. But if we are talking WWE, try to keep the questions WWE, and we're talking AEW. Try to keep AEW. But again, if you just jumped in and joined us, we thank you as always. And Frankie, do you want to start with kind of looking at what happened on Raw before we get into our topics? Do you want to kind of look at what happened on Raw a little bit as far as actually, you know what? I probably should have done this off the air, so you could have told me. Did you actually get a chance to watch it? Because I skimmed through it. I DVR'd it, and I watched, through the fast forward button today. So did you actually get to watch it, or did you do the same as me?
No, I watched it. I watched it late. I was a little bit. I did DVR it as well, but when I got home, I rewatched the whole show. So yeah.
Your thoughts on, I guess, what the overall Raw?
Overall, it wasn't bad. And again, I'm happy that it's looking like they're sticking with the Triple H type of kind of segment of just, not too much talking. They have their promos here and there, but they continuously show the wrestling a lot more. It started with a bang with a lot of the bloodline and the Judgment Day working together and all that stuff. That's interesting. I'm curious to see how that can develop eventually, and remember, it's still going to continue because they're supposed to go after Solo needs to take care of Bad Bunny next week, and Bad Bunny's going to be at Raw next week. So
yeah, I think they're going to do this leading up to Backlash. Is the first weekend of May, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on a minute. Let me see when that Backlash is. Hold on a minute. Keep talking for you. I'm sorry.
I think it's in. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I think it's May the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, because I think they're having the championship one on May 27th, the one that they're doing at the Saudi
May
Arabia.
26th in Puerto Rico. May 6th.
May 6th in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, but so excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And then they're having the other one, the champions one at the
as we just
month.
Discussed, though, that's going to lead the draft. That'll be the first pay-per-view after the draft.
Yeah, but you see how they're doing all three of them back to back to back. That's so interesting. Have they done that before? I don't think they've done that before, like that, so close to each other.
No. What do you mean? Oh, the rest of there's how many
so
you have back to back to back?
So you have the Backlash first, then you have the draft, and then you have the first pay-per-view, and it's all in May, pretty much, if I'm not mistaken. Because the draft
is going to be the end of April, the 1st of May. Then you're going to have the Backlash pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. So it's the draft, then the Backlash,
then the Backlash, and
then the Night of Champions,
and then Night of Champions now, because as we, that's one of the topics I want to.
Yeah.
They did make a name change, and I think that had to do a lot with the Queen of the Ring.
Really?
unfortunately.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, man.
Yeah. It's
Not about that women I mean the matches they've had over there. I was trying to think back to this. I know they wore the long sleeves and they did everything they had to do there. Did they ever defend a title over there, a women's title? Did they
I
ever
don't
have
believe so.
I think they're just regular matches, right?
Yeah, because I remember, what was it? I think it was in 2018 was when they had the women.
Yeah, the first one was Natalia and
I don't remember. I know. I
Becky? No.
don't remember. I really don't remember.
I can't remember exactly one. I remember Natalia was a part of it because that was part of the deal that she wanted to have be a part of that because it was such a groundbreaking and WWE wanted her to be a part of it because of everything she had done for them. But I'm wondering if because of the Queen of the Ring, if they decided to change that and make it Night of the Champions. And then I wonder now also, will the women's titles be defended? Because again, unlike here in the US, Saudi Arabia has a little different view on women.
And not only that, will Zami and KO still be
No, they will not.
champions?
Well, I mean, they will.
Mm,
Sammy will not go.
exactly.
Sammy
So
is not will not has not gone on a
and
tour over
and
there.
KO is not going either. They both don't go to Saudi
You wouldn't have the
Arabia.
tag team titles, but I mean, again, that's not a big miss as long as Roman goes. And then usually on those Saudi Arabias, because they give so much money, they'll pull out a couple of the Undertaker. They'll bring those guys over there that might not appear, but they'll be there because that's who they want to see. It's weird. It's one of those weird. It's like one of those things where they just give out $55 million and tell them this is who we want you to bring, and bring them over. You know what I'm saying? So it's
It's all
just
about the money.
odd thing. Yeah, it is. It is really all about the money. But I mean, hey, I guess if they're getting 55 million for per show, 110 million a year for going over there, and again, I mean, they don't get treated badly when they're there. I
No.
mean, other than that one time, it was Saudi Arabia, right, where they had to get back quickly with Vince or something on the plane, and like they didn't know if they were going to be able to take off or something. I think it was one of the Saudi Arabia shows. Terry, what's up? King Mahi Carlos says Fresco, Mr. EW.
Wait, but hold on. I'm wearing my WrestleMania shirt from back
Neither
in the
one of
day.
those guys are in WWE anymore. I mean, come on, come on now, come on now. Wow, you pull
They
out.
still show. Cena still shows up.
He does every once in a while. He does every once in a while.
Man, look at that. Classic.
I want to go back to SmackDown real quick. Paul Heyman at the is cutting a promo, and he says, and Roman Reigns is getting sick of the two of you. And he's pointing at Sammy and KO and wagging his finger at Sammy and KO, but he's got a dead stare at Jimmy and Jey Uso. So again, they're starting to show little things, or are they? Do they want you to believe that? Because then fast forward to Monday night, Judgment Day comes in the ring. The Usos have no idea that there's already been a deal cut. Only Heyman and Solo know. And now the Usos again caught in the middle, not having any idea what's going on. What says you, Frankie Fresco? Is this a ploy to try to make us think there's some smoke, or is there actually some smoke inside the bloodline?
I think there's some smoke. I mean, they're throwing these mixed signals out there. Like you said, he mentioned it yesterday with the Judgment Day coming out, and the Usos didn't know about it, but Solo knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think what's gonna happen eventually is, for me, I honestly feel that the Usos are gonna kind of break off from the bloodline eventually. I think Roman is gonna push them away, and they're gonna incorporate it some way. Remember, back in the day, during the COVID times when we were during the pandemic and there weren't any fans around there, you remember who Roman was fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if
And
they
even
bring.
Jay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of spin that around and bring it back to kind of all put it all together. What about you? What do you think? Do you think they're like
I think they're
playing with it?
starting to throw little smoke signals here and there. I mean, now again, they're very minute to where if they don't want to do it right away, they can just kind of, it's not nuclear stuff right now. It's, oh, we didn't tell you because we want it to be a surprise, and kind of looking at them as he's saying, the two of you, knowing that they already have the issue with, KO and Sammy. They're small, minute little things, but I almost feel like they're trying to see, okay, what's the fan reaction here? Let's gauge this a little bit and see, how many more miles can we get off of what we got going right now with the bloodline? Or do we need to do that change? Because again, I believe a lot of this is happening now. Why? The draft is coming up.
Yeah.
The draft is coming up. And now, again, I don't know, at least from what I've heard. And now, again, these are just rumors and from, actually this one I don't believe I got from Fightful. So I don't know how 100% it is. But there was talk that Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins could be broken up in the draft.
Did you see the promo yesterday?
No, I didn't watch that. I didn't see the promo.
Okay, so on Raw, what they did was they had Montez and they had the Street Profits together.
Mhm.
Then they had next to them was
Oh,
Elias.
yeah, Boogs and Elias, and I did see some of that. Yeah.
So then what happens is, who was the one that gets in between the Street Profits? I forgot who it was.
I know Corbin ended up in it somehow. I don't know.
Yes, Corbin got in it, and so did this guy, the one who always competes for the hardcore belt, the Asian guy that always competes for the
Akira
hardcore.
Tozawa.
Tozawa, yeah,
I
Tozawa
remember
was
seeing
there.
the name. I remember seeing the name. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was on there as well, but I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Corbin or it was somebody who came behind the Street Profits and told them, hey, they like to split as well. So they kind of insinuated it, and then the Street Profits were like, "No, we're gonna stay together." And then like, or split, and then they're like, "Let's go talk to management." And then they left. So you're right.
Because it's one of those things where WWE hasn't said whether. Because remember, before they'd be like, if you draft one person, you get the team. If you draft a faction, you could draft the whole Judgment Day, and then you get all four of them. They haven't said that this is going to be like that in this draft. So I'm wondering if this is where, because remember, Triple H said it's going to be a game changer. This is going to change it all around. And then also I read somewhere that this is when Triple H is really taking over. This is when Triple H is going to start putting in his angles, his more creative, the guys that he's been waiting to get called in. There's some guys that have been down in NXT that have not shown up as of yet to the main roster. There's guys that have been signed that has not been brought up to the main roster. So this is a lot of talk about this draft, is that this is a reset. This is going to be, so it kind of made sense to me watching Raw where they had the bloodline. It's kind of like everybody just kind of jumped in and it was a turf war almost. Because to me, I think the way they're doing it is, let's just have fun with these next few weeks, and then we hit the reset button at the draft, and then we roll on after Backlash.
I still think they're not going to split the bloodline just yet, and I don't think they're going to split the Judgment Day, because those are their two biggest heels right now. I don't think it would make sense to split them one-on-one.
Well, even if I wonder how much it'll be brand specific as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because you still got the tag team titles are undisputed, the heavyweight titles undisputed, so those will be going back and forth. So if you put the titles on the Usos again, then they go anywhere, right? The bloodline can be anywhere.
True, and I do think the Usos are going to get the titles back.
I've after thinking about us just talking about, if it's Night of the Champions, I believe they're going to want the championships to be defended, especially the undisputed tag team championships. And I don't know what, like, Gunther and all them, like, they're good with Saudi Arabia?
I don't know.
European country, like UK, Ireland, all that.
I mean, the only one I heard that is always an issue is obviously Sammy.
Gunther actually went over there and wrestled, right? And that's where Gunther and Sheamus fought, right? Wasn't that at one of the Saudi Arabias?
I mean, from what I
The
could
Clash at the
remember,
Castle, I believe it was.
I think from the only one that I've seen that has always been an issue has been Zami and KO. They're the only ones that I've noticed that they have not
Yeah,
been,
and
and then
Bryan
the women
Daniel Bryanson was one also.
and my
Um,
and Alistar Black. Now he's
yeah,
Malachi Black, but
yeah.
he was there as well. Those guys had it. He had issues as well going. But Sammy's, it's because of his religion and stuff
Oh
like
no,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No, I mean everybody's got their reasons, and I was just trying to think right at the top of my head. I mean, you're calling this Night of the Champions, and you're gonna have to have the. I mean, I thought about it after we talked because a minute ago I was like, well, they don't have to have the tag team championships there, but then do they allow the women to defend their title there?
you
It's
have
gonna be
to.
interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how
I
they.
the thing is that why would you call why are you gonna call a pay-per-view a Night of the Champions and you're not gonna defend all the belts or at least most of them?
Well, the problem is though, do they see that as again because they're the women movement thing over there, empowering women is not a big thing in Saudi Arabia.
No,
And now you've got a woman walking out with the title, empowering. Again, things have changed over a little minute. I don't know if it's changed that much. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do and how they pull it off because they did change again. If anybody who hasn't heard, the original name of the pay-per-view for the Saudi Arabia event was going to be the King and Queen of the Ring. That has
correct.
now been changed to Night of Champions, and trying to figure out why. And again, there's going to be a lot of reasons there on that. Nate G, what's going on? He said, "Hey guys, what's up?" Terry, Sean, I think the bloodline has run its course. They're throwing us little hints every week. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I just sometimes, again, they throw feelers out to see what takes and what doesn't. Do the fans are they catching on to the little subtle hints? Are they seeing that Paul Heyman's pointing at two guys, but staring a hole through the other two guys?
And,
Some of this is the little things that they're trying.
and I think that's why I see Jey Uso gonna go possibly be the one who's gonna be involved
Mm.
in a fight some way somehow with Roman. I wouldn't even be surprised if they kind of some way somehow they put maybe like a three-way or something like that. They have a lot of time to build on it. That's why I don't think the Bloodline's gonna. I don't think they're gonna split them right away. I think they're gonna run with this for the whole year until WrestleMania and try to throw something in there to see, or
I just
maybe
don't
right
know if
before Royal
that's
Rumble or something like that.
yeah, maybe a Royal Rumble. They do it. I just don't know that. Look, I love Jey Uso and I love the bloodline, and I get there'd be a lot of unless they do something soon to mix it up. I just don't think a main event of Jey Uso Roman. I mean, they'd have to spice that up a lot. It would have to be like control of the bloodline. It'd be, it'd have to be more than just the titles to me.
And you notice that they're pushing a lot solo. So
Solo's the monster, man. Solo's
yeah,
going to be the monster. And then I don't know if you know, but their brother also just started training as well,
yeah, I did read
which
about
is
that.
Fatu's youngest, or sorry, Rikishi Fatu's youngest son. So he just started training as well. So again, man, there's a lot that could happen between now and because you got a whole lot of Samoan dynasty on the independents right now, and any of them could make a run and make a big. I mean, you got Tama Tonga, you've got Jacob Fatu, you've got guys that can be game changers if brought in and put up and hooked up differently. So it'll be very interesting to see there. AKW Beats, love it when he comes in because all he does is go, yo.
Yo,
He says he's still very interested in the bloodline. And then also Terry's reminding me that they did break the New Day up. So I think the Street Profits will be split up. I think it's time for Montez Ford single push. And to be honest, I think they could get something out of Angelo Dawkins too. Don't get me wrong now. Montez Ford's got a bigger ceiling than Angelo Dawkins. But when you saw Angelo Dawkins deliver that move to me at WrestleMania, that was one of the moves of the night when he just trucked Braun Strowman. When Braun Strowman was doing his trucking people around the thing, and he just met up with them and trucked them, right there. I think that also,
not only that, but
hey,
what wasn't it in the Hell in a Cell that he also did that crazy move? Was
ooh,
it? I think it was Montez who did that crazy
no,
move on Hell in a Cell.
Montez Ford, yeah, that's what I was saying. Montez Ford, his ceiling is so much higher than Dawkins. But I think Dawkins could be a solid, you could work him into a picture to where, he's got the good size and he can work. Now, is he at the athletic level of Montez Ford? I don't know many that are, to be honest with you.
See, but this is the thing that I don't think it's gonna happen right now, because if you look at it, all right, they split the New Day. You got the Street Profits probably splitting, and I don't know if you saw Raw, but you got Chad Gable and Otis possibly getting split as well. They gave a little promo about that as well, saying, "Hey, look, it's time for him to move on and come to that talent role thing, whatever you call them,
maximum male models."
Yeah, there you go, the maximum male models. And then Chad was like, "No, we got to stick together." So, do you really think you're gonna see all the tag team just split? I don't think so, man. I don't see that happening.
Man, I mean, I've heard Tommaso Ciampa is ready to go.
Oh, I haven't seen Ciampa in a while.
With his injury right now, he's resting up. Do they bring back DIY? Do you start seeing other new blood tag teams? And then those guys, again, you can always pull them apart. If it doesn't work, you can bring it back together. You can have two guys jumping Angelo Dawkins. Here comes Montez Ford in for the save, and now you've reunited the Street Profits if it doesn't work.
But do you think the tag team division needs to spice it up like that?
I mean, what do you have in the tag team division, right? Who are the tag team champions right now?
KO and Sammy.
Are they originally a tag team?
No, they're not. But then you got the Usos, right?
Yeah, put the title back on them, and everybody chases the Usos. You don't have to have, I would love to sit here and be like, but they don't put enough emphasis on their tag team division to where
they don't.
It's like, you don't sit there and like, oh, I can't wait to see that tag. The only reason I wanted to watch the one at WrestleMania was to see Sammy and KO win the titles.
That's true.
But I thought that it was going to be, this. It was just waiting for that point to get the 1, 2, 3 to where you can be like, yes, they finally got one over on the bloodline.
I understand that, but the only thing I could go ahead and counter with you is that we're so used to seeing these tag team of two, like it'll be awkward when you see one of them split and the other one doesn't do so well.
Yeah,
so then you're like,
7 months ago, Chad Gable and Otis weren't a tag team.
True, I understand that.
Like, I can't believe they're going to break them up. I mean,
but
they weren't even a tag team 7 months ago.
Have they gotten better together, or were they better when they were singles?
I think it helped out Chad Gable develop his character better. I don't think it helped Otis. I think it hurt Otis.
They had their moments.
It changed what Otis was. Otis, as I said before, Otis was never brought in as a killer.
No, they never did.
He was brought in as a comedy thing. He'd rub his belly, do the worm, bam. He was never brought in as a killer guy. Bronson Reed was brought in as a killer all this time. So I look at him and I go, okay, that guy's a killer. I look at Otis, I'm like, make me laugh. Make me laugh. Like when they gave him the Money in the Bank, I was so happy. The stuff they did with Mandy Rose, so happy. It's not him. I don't see him as that killer guy. And it just never got over for me.
Well, Nate G he wrote something that's interesting, and I agree with him. I do see Elias and Boogs probably hooking them up as a tag team, especially since they were talking about, Elias was saying yesterday, yo, wherever I go, I'm going to put a good word for you. That way you could come with me. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put them together. Like you said,
I think they're going to end up feuding. I don't think they're going to be tag team partners.
Really?
Yep.
No, I don't. See, the thing is, I don't see Boogs going ahead and getting upset really quickly. And
Elias is going to be the heel. Boogs is going to be the baby face. It's going to be Boogs' first opponent to start moving him.
I think they're going to team them up. I think they teamed them up, and they'll go for a run as tag team. And then after a while, maybe they'll have a feud and they'll break up. But I think they're going to try them together before they just make them feud against each other.
We'll see. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a pretty quick because if you watch it, they always try to get one over on the other. Remember, Elias got stuck facing Bronson Reed because Boogs went over to Bronson Reed and was like, that guy wants to fight you, when Elias told Boogs to go over there and tell him he wanted to fight him.
That's
He went
true.
over there and said, "Hey, that guy wants to fight you." And Elias like, "No, no, 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 no." They're always, they're trying to get that one over on each other. I think we'll have to see where it goes. Cat for Life said when Otis dressed up like Chris Farley for Halloween. Yeah, I mean, those are the things. It's like you just look at him and just I want to laugh, man, every time I see Otis. I don't want to be like
True. I
this
mean,
guy.
but that's how they sold it to us for a while. I mean,
Oh,
remember
that's the
when
whole thing. Is like that's how they brought him in. That's how he was
yeah,
in Heavy Machinery. He
they
was
never
always that guy that was like the one guy was the big powerhouse guy, and then he came in and did his thing. So
You know what's funny though? Earlier today, I was actually watching the A&E special of Yokozuna,
okay,
and I watched the whole hour of it, and it was really good. I actually, because I remember seeing Yokozuna when I was little, so I didn't know the backstory how he was and all that stuff, but it's the same way. They brought him as one of the Samoa guys, and then eventually they found a gimmick for him and they switched him around and say, hey, this guy looks like a sumo wrestler. Let's give him that look. And they
yep,
sold it, and it went crazy. It went really well for him. So then what I'm saying is, okay, if you got Otis, right, and you split him
yeah,
from
but
Chad,
also back then though, I mean, look what they did with Rikishi.
they never used Rikishi well, man.
He was the Sultan. If you remember when he first came in, he was called the Sultan. He
Yeah,
was under a mask. He did the iron clutch, the camel clutch, like the Iron Sheik did back in the day, and it was one of those things. And then there was like, oh, this isn't going to work too much. And then they figured out what would work, and then the Too Cool thing, took off. I think back then though, it wasn't. It was gimmicks. It wasn't characters. Now you are your character. You are your gimmick. Like it's not. I don't think you can do in this day and age. I don't know that an Undertaker can be pulled off.
I don't agree with you. I have a different opinion because look at Bray Wyatt. I know they're not using Bray Wyatt correctly, and I'm saying is that they don't push him like they're supposed to. But his character is dark. Like I've always saw Bray Wyatt as like the next Undertaker. Obviously not gonna match Undertaker, but I always saw him as like a dark wrestler
Yeah, but
that
you're
would
not going
always.
to get that this day. You're not with social media. You're not going to get that anymore, man. You're not.
Yeah, but you can look at MJF when he uses his whole social media to sell his character. He's gonna be a douchebag no matter
Yeah, but
where
he's a
he is.
douchebag. I mean, that's like Karen's on Twitter.
Well,
It's like Chelsea Green. They're like, you're going to be Karen on Twitter.
Bray Wyatt,
That's what you can do. Bray, what are you going to do? You can't go
Bray Wyatt,
Karen on Twitter.
Bray Wyatt was putting like subliminal messages on
Yeah,
Twitter.
he was. And then he also got spotted at a car during WrestleMania, and everybody's like, he's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm good.
No,
So I mean, you can't. That's what I'm saying. Like the Undertaker used to leave in the ambulance, get dropped off 3 blocks away at a parking garage in a car that was waiting for him and Paul Bearer. That's how they left the arena. At MSG, he would come in the ambulance because at MSG you have to walk across the street from the thing. Like those things will not happen in this day and age, and I don't know that you can do those things, man.
I think it depends on the character. Look at Cody, man. Cody is the American dream. He's the
Cody's Cody, though. That's what I'm saying, though. He is the gimmick.
but that well, he is the gimmick. I mean, but he's had different gimmicks obviously before. This one is he could be himself, no matter where he is in social media and all that stuff, and still people are gonna cherish him and want him to succeed. I think you could do that with certain characters. Maybe you can't do it with to the extreme of Undertaker. Nobody's ever gonna copy Undertaker. Undertaker is number one. He will always be a legend for all of us. But to go and say that you can't pull it off, I think you can. I mean, yeah, you saw Bray Wyatt in a
You
regular
can't
car.
even
He said that
barely
he's okay.
surprise people with surprise. People know people are going to be at the show most of the time nowadays. You
Yeah,
can't even
true.
surprise like, hey, so where did they come from? It's like, what the hell? Like
Yeah,
it's ruined before it even starts. That's my
but
only thing is like,
but anything is
I'm not saying that
possible.
nobody could pull off what I know there's performers that could probably do it. I just don't think you can in this day and age of everything's on film, everything's on camera. You have to fly. Unless you're getting brought in by the WWE jet to every arena, and then they put you in the car and they get you to the building, like they did the Hardys that one time when they surprised at WrestleMania. You know, if you do stuff like that, then I can see things happening. But
I mean, I don't know about WWE, but again, look, when Adam Cole came to AEW, nobody knew he was coming. Everybody knew that Bryan Danielson was coming, but they pulled that off and they put Adam Cole, and everybody was like, "What in the world?" Yeah, this past week, we'll talk about it in a minute. But did you know that Jeff Hardy was coming back to wrestle?
Yes,
I didn't know. I wasn't sure he was coming back. I had heard that he was doing better, but I didn't think he was.
Oh, I heard he was doing better, and then right before, if you Fightful Select sent out a thing saying Jeff Hardy's in the building and he's penciled in to be a part of the.
See, but this is the thing, Sean. You and me, and I know you follow it more than I do. It's like you're following everything that you see on Twitter, that you listen to it. So you're hardcore. I'm not hardcore as much as you, but I still stay in touch with a lot of information when it comes to the wrestling. Yeah. The casual fan is not going on Twitter and trying to check out every single tweet that.
Yeah, but your casual fans are sitting in the airport at 3 a.m. when these guys are flying in.
Yeah, to get a signature or a photo with them.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no time. Like, hell, what was it? It was it wasn't even the Undertaker. Who was the one that WWE, they did a surprise thing and they had to fly him in 3 towns over and then bring him in because they were like, we couldn't fly him into here because they were checking every airport in the surrounding area to see what times flights are coming in from certain areas because they find out where you're from and then they try to again pencil things. Oh, he lives in whatever San Antonio, Texas. Okay, so he flies out of San Antonio and he's flying into here. What flights are those? And that's how they try to piece together things.
But it doesn't obviously kill the whole thing either because you see it in regular sports. Look at the whole situation right now with Dalvin Cook. Everybody, I mean, he was in fishing this weekend, and they posted photos of him, and I think he tweeted out himself as well that he was fishing here in Florida, and everybody's like, "Oh, there he is! He's coming to the Dolphins." Mm-hmm. So speculation. Hey, man, you could always twist and turn anything you put on Twitter. Remember that saying that you say about wrestling is the same thing you could say about Twitter and social media. You
100%
use it for your benefit.
100%. I mean, I just don't know that we can. And also, I don't know that, you know, and I say this with WWE and AEW because I do believe in a way some independents like CCW, some of those gimmicks will work because they're not seen all the time.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, the ones that are, you know, so, all right, we'll let that one go because we could probably talk about that one forever.
We can.
Let's see here. Let's go back in. Terry says when Randy comes back, RK Bro will be reunited and win the titles back. I just want to see him rap and have the big toe bro. I want the toe bro. That's what I want to see. He's going to wrap his toe with tape and they're like, he's like, no, I'm just kidding. That was good stuff. Nate G says, yes, eventually Elias will turn on him. He's a drifter. Yep. Whatever happened to Ezekiel? Ezekiel was in the hospital last time we saw, and Elias vowed to come back to wrestling for his brother.
Correct.
To right the wrongs. I'm sorry. So Ezekiel, I believe, is probably still in the hospital. He was beat up pretty badly. And then the LA Knight stuff killed Bray. LA was too entertaining. I just think Bray's not a character where you can just pencil in things for somebody. I believe that was rushed and just, I mean, I know they dragged it out a little bit over some pay-per-views. It's just,
they had a great story going with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but then he gets sick or hurt or whatever the situation is now. I don't know where's they there. But then also, well, actually, no, that's my thing later on tonight. I forgot. You
just got to team him up against like really good wrestlers. Like the whole ordeal that he had with Randy Orton, that was great for a long time. I enjoyed it, even though they put Alexa Bliss and all that in there, and it was kind of like the twist when she turned on him and all that stuff. Those are good. He's a very good wrestler. His character is like no other in WWE. That's the thing. So I don't understand why WWE doesn't sell him more. Because if I was them,
I was very protective, and rightfully so, by the way, of that gimmick. He's very protective over it.
He is. Yeah, but it works, and that's the. I've always I don't know about
Yeah, but the problem is that WWE's never been the company that allows you to have a lot of creative control.
Oh, that's true.
They
That's
haven't
true.
been, and that I think that's where the whole Vince McMahon back at WrestleMania, I think killed that momentum and that vibe, and he was kind of like, let me see how this is going to go because I'm not coming back to what it was before for this guy to try to take away whatever it is I'm building. So we'll have to see where
Well,
where it goes because, and again, and hopefully, again, they're saying that he's got some kind of, there was an illness. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's as far as it's gone. And then they showed pictures of him at WrestleMania weekend. He was in LA. He looked fine. But he was never there.
But I have the feeling that was Vince putting his foot down, and Vince doesn't like him. I don't know why. He's such a great wrestler that you could definitely promote
because he wants control.
But look, I'll tell you this:
it's not like you got to know how to ego. Look, John Cena gets control. Why? Because he knows how to massage Vince.
Yeah, because he kisses his ass.
There you go. Why. There you. But
Bray Wyatt is not gonna kiss any ass. Not even his character means that. He can't do that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Frankie. If Bray would, bend a little, the bend don't break defense. Bend a little. You get that machine behind you to do whatever you want it to do. Do you know what the heights of that Bray Wyatt character could be? Could you imagine Bray Wyatt being pushed like John Cena?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, for the love of God, I don't think he even needs to win a title to be relevant. I think his own character sells it. But it just depends. I mean, look. Vince wasn't at Monday Night Raw either this week. So
yes, that's true.
So then you have, Triple H. Maybe Triple H gives him a little bit more freeway. And again,
an email that was sent out by Vince McMahon and Nick Khan saying Triple H has full control.
And then the draft is coming, so you don't know. Maybe they'll push him to Raw.
Maybe they're holding him off on the draft and just bring him back as a surprise.
I mean,
see. Again, I believe more and more. I believe that this draft is more of a reset to get Triple H is what he wants, or whatever pictures he has in his mind for feuds and angles coming up. This is to say, okay, I want to have this feud. Okay, well then we need to have him moved over to SmackDown, because if that's where, and then again, also remember another thing. This is very important. There are two very important companies involved in how the draft plays out. And that's just one of the things, Frankie, we were going back and forth about the draft, is you have Fox and you have NBC Universal. And they want certain people on their networks. I know for a fact Fox wanted Bray Wyatt.
But do you think they want him now after they've kind of not utilized him as much? I don't think they do.
Again, though, you look at you want to try to look at, what's the most entertaining, what's the value for your dollar, what's, is that Bray Wyatt these days? Because the thing also is that, when you're Triple H and you're WWE and you're going to remember, your company's been sold to Endeavor. It's not yours anymore. It was already a publicly traded company, so you had to answer to shareholders. Now you're answering to Endeavor, who's answering to Fox, who's answering to NBC Universal. You got to keep ratings up. You got to keep your ratings up. So where do you draw? Because usually, okay, certain people are getting flipped. But when you look at these rosters, and by the way, join us next week. We're going to be doing a mock draft right here. Me and Frankie, we're going to choose for Raw and SmackDown. And we'll go off. And again, our picks are going to be who we believe we would want on our teams. The reason I'm throwing this out there now is that one of the issues that WWE is going to have is they can't just be like, okay, I want to have this person, SmackDown, this person, Raw. They have to say, okay, this is what we'd like to do, NBC Universal. Yes, no. Fox, here's what we're going to do. No. Okay, well, now we got to figure out how to make these guys happy. That's the other portion of the whole thing with the draft is you also have two entities in Fox and NBC Universal that you got to make happy. That's one of the reasons when you ask me, like, why would they not want mock drafts out there? Because we can make them look so pretty. And unfortunately for WWE, they have to answer to Fox and NBC Universal.
But again,
and then sell it, by the way, and then sell it to the fans that's what they want to do.
They got to be able to have like, they have to be more organized, in my opinion, behind the scenes. They have to be able to say, hey, look, if we use Cody Rhodes for Monday Night Raw for a whole year, how about we switch him over? We give Cody to SmackDown and we'll give you guys Bray Wyatt or something like that. There has to be like a middle ground where both companies will understand. It won't be an easy conversation, but it will definitely be something that I'm pretty sure both companies are willing to negotiate. And at the same time, they'll be like, look, we're still going to share these particular wrestlers, in my opinion, the champion Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and these guys. I don't see why they can't get away with that. Look how they're using Liv and Raquel. You know, they're using them in both SmackDown and Raw right now. So
yeah, they're now the champions, though.
Exactly. So you see how it is, though. Like, hey, we could work with these. Like, if you got Cody as a champion, hey, you could use Cody on both networks. If you have Brock Lesnar, et cetera, et cetera. So I get your point. I agree. It's gonna be hard, and yes, you do have to satisfy both companies. But like I said, I hope WWE has like a little bit of like brainstorming of as far as like saying, hey, look, we gave you Cody for a whole year. How about we give you this guy instead for the whole year and see how it is? Or even work it out where it's like, okay, we'll give you him for half the year and then the other half will move into the other brand. That you could be creative with it. Obviously, like I said, it's not going to be an easy conversation though with either one of them. So
yeah, but then also the other thing is you got to try to figure out, because I'm looking up right now, because the reason I went silent for a minute, I wanted to look up their contract with Fox ends in 2024, September 2024, and right now they're currently making $205 million a year for Fox
and SmackDown. Do you think Fox is gonna let them move and probably sign with another company, like let's say ESPN, since Endeavor has a contract with ESPN? I don't think so. I think Fox is gonna fight for it, because if you lose
what they bid, but again, you're saying, they pay $205 million a year to broadcast SmackDown. Yeah. Do you think they're going to be like, okay, fine, yeah, go ahead and take this guy? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no,
I just don't think it's as easy as yeah. In hindsight, yeah, it should be, hey, you had him for a year, let's switch it over and see how this guy does. But now the problem is that what if it doesn't work out?
It's a little bit of.
By the way, NBC Universal is paying $200 million a year.
It's a give and take, man. I don't see why you can't go ahead and be like, okay, look, we're gonna give you Gunther for Raw, and then you could trade it off and say, okay, we'll give you Seth Rollins for it, and you could see how Gunther does in Monday Night Raw. Maybe he brings the fans as much as more than in SmackDown, because he's grown. Remember, there's more eyes in SmackDown because it's it's more and more TVs than USA Network. So I mean, I understand where you come from. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say that they're going to bend over and be like, yeah, just go ahead, give it to them, we'll be okay. No, obviously they're all going to fight for it, but it's like a trade, like a regular sports trade. Hey, I'm going to trade you Seth Rollins, and then we'll give you this. And if I was WWE, I would have all, like, both of them sitting, like that draft would be right in front of us. So both of us would be sitting there, and then WWE is in the middle and be like, okay, guys, let's see what we could do. And just, each one of them talks about it, sees how they could sell it, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see why not.
All right, let's get through this real quick. I want to finish up we'll finish the chat real quick where we're at, and then go over to a couple of little topics real quick. And then we got to get to Frankie's AEW. He's been beaming with joy and pride all day, waiting to get to talk some AEW. And AG says, will we see a Cody Rhodes versus Gunther match this year? I don't know, man. I mean, I would say possibly throw another roadblock in there, because obviously right now this is his, the chase is on and Brock is the first roadblock. What's the next roadblock? Obviously, we got to figure out where those roadblocks are. So I will never say never, but I don't know that you're going to see that this year. I just think Gunther's got the IC title. If you put Cody going for the IC title and he wins that, you kind of take the steam off of the whole chase, because now he's got a belt, and then I get it. It's not the heavyweight belt, but it's a belt. So, and they don't treat the IC belt like they used to do. I mean, remember, the IC title used to be, you would actually be in line for a heavyweight title shot down the line. Not necessarily, not a given, but usually the IC champion would end up. That's how Shawn Michaels ended up getting his run up there. Sean, do you think the titles will be split after the draft? Terry, I hope so. I hope they see the error in their ways and they split the titles, and then you can have more. Because honestly, I think that's and you know what? Let me rephrase this. It would be better for the fans if they broke up the titles. I think it's better for them business-wise to keep the titles together. Why? Because now Roman is Raw and SmackDown. Your tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, are Raw and SmackDown. Your women's tag team champions are Raw and SmackDown. It gives you a little bit of flexibility. You don't have to defend the titles all the time, but Sami can show up on SmackDown and take on whoever. Liv Morgan or whoever can show up on SmackDown or Raw and take on whoever. So, I think that's going to be the main issue, because now, say NBC Universal and SmackDown and Fox both want Roman Reigns. How do we suffice that? Oh, Roman's the undisputed champion. No problem. He'll be on both shows. And then you make both people happy. Go ahead, Frankie.
I don't think they're gonna. You know what? After everything that's happened this last year, I am going 100% with Roman winning pretty much everything and still being the champion for the whole year. And I know it's early, but unless something dramatic changes, but as of right now, I even have Roman going again and winning the main event at WrestleMania. That's how I don't see them taking away the titles from him.
I mean, unless something, crazy happens, I probably agree with you.
Yep.
And by that craziness means The Rock comes in or something like that. I mean, if they can figure out a way.
Or Sean Stanley or something comes in.
I mean, Frankie Fresco in my corner. That's the only way I do it.
I'll be your manager in the back.
Baby. You're my Paul Heyman. You're my advisor.
There you go.
Let's see. Cat for Life says, have they named captains for the draft? Yes, they did. Sean Stanley, Frankie Fresco. Next week, right here, we're doing but I don't think they did that. Adam Pearce has been the Raw and SmackDown. He's kind of like just the general manager, so they haven't really done that. Maybe that's another thing they might do, because William Regal, I think not till the end of the year. Not till the end of the year, because
he can't show up, right?
It was 1 year off of TV.
What about Stephanie? Maybe they bring Stephanie.
Maybe his on-air character, or maybe Vince will Shane will bring his half a leg with his torn quad, and he'll wheel out and show me the money, and he can't do anything. So we'll see how they do there. Nate G says Rhea is my number 1 draft pick. It's going to be interesting. And we'll have our draft, like I said, right here next week. And we want all of you tuning in, because we're going to be asking for some, as it gets further in, we'll probably do, what do you think, 6 rounds?
We could do like
7 rounds. What do you think?
But wait, what are you going to have? You want Raw or SmackDown?
You want to pick them right now?
Can I pick AEW? Nah.
Let's throw it all together. I know that's what you're going for.
I'll take.
You're gonna take. Who are you gonna take?
No. I'll take Monday Night Raw. How about?
Okay, you got Raw. I got SmackDown. I'll wear the blue, baby.
I'll wear something red. Oh, right. I'll wear my Roman Reigns shirt.
There you go. I can see it now. You're gonna draw off the Raw and be like, for the first pick overall, WWE Raw takes Ricochet.
Hell no.
You're gonna set up Raw for failure because you're AEW, baby.
I'm gonna get Otis as my first round pick.
Hey, I think the whole Maximum Male Models, baby. Some other news coming out of WWE. Twitch and WWE reached an agreement, so the superstars will be returning to their Twitch channel. It'll be broken down into three parts with the talent and Twitch getting a majority share of the money, and WWE will get it. Those didn't come out, so I don't know what it's going to be
Terrible.
there, but they do get the WWE, they get their Twitch back, and at least now they can go back out and get their channels and what they want to do. The Cavender twins, they will report in the end of spring to the performance center to start training. So we'll see how that goes for the Cavender twins. But thought that was interesting because they did leave the University of Miami down here. And a lot's been said about them to where WWE is thinking they could be the next Bellas.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this.
Yep.
So I didn't know who these two girls were. I had no idea. I know they played for UM basketball, the girls basketball team. I know that they had signed some NILs with WWE a while back, but I think it was like maybe
They
2
signed with
years
them
ago.
when they're at Fresno State. They signed with NIL deals with
They were
WWE.
like 2 years, 3 years ago. Anyways, I had no idea who they were.
Now, NIL with WWE, by the way, they're not paid like NIL deals. They're called next in line.
Yes.
So what they do is they invite them to camps, they train there, and then they're given an opportunity that a lot of us are not given to make it into the WWE.
Wait, but you don't think they make money? I think they make money off of them, no?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but not much. It's not going to be much.
All right, so this is what I got because I had to look them up because I don't know I don't know them too much. So you got Haley and Hannah. Like you said, they're gonna compare them as to kind of like the Bella twins. These girls their net worth is $4.4 million.
Yeah, they have like 5 million followers on.
Well, they got
You have to remember, who was it that the rapper Instagrammed them when they won and went to the Elite Eight?
All I know is I thought they became famous because I looked them up. I don't have TikTok. I used to have TikTok, but I got rid of it because it was just too much bad juju when it comes to that TikTok. But I found out that they had 4.5 million followers in TikTok, right? And then one of the things that blew them up was when they were at like a WWE. There was like a WWE sign, and Dwight Howard was with them, and they were dancing in front of Dwight Howard, and that got them over 1 million views or something like that. And then
Dwight Howard tried out when they were in LA. Dwight Howard was at the tryouts.
So then that got him a whole bunch of views. But do these girls impress me? Do these girls am I gonna go ahead and say, yo, I really want to see them? I mean, to be honest with you, not really. I mean, unless
watch them on the court, no, but see what they do.
Well,
I mean,
one of them was really good though.
Listen,
the other one,
back in the day when the Bellas first came, I was like, they're not going to be around long.
And no, but look how they used the Bellas. That remember the gimmick where
when they first came out, they weren't using them that way. When they first
turned
heel, the first time they turned heel was the first time I said, okay, they can do something.
No. When the Bellas first came out to WWE, remember it was what was it? Brie Bella? I think it was Brie Bella who
was wrestling, and Nikki came out from under the ring.
Exactly. So they used that gimmick and they went with it for what? Maybe for like 2 or 3 matches on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but it wasn't impressive because they couldn't work.
But it was creative, and it brought
conquistadors. Christian did it as a conquistadors.
But it brought them in. Are you going to do the same thing with the Cavender twins? These girls? I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think they look enough the same like the Bella. I mean, when you look at Haley and Hannah, they don't. I mean, I guess they're identical to them, but I think you can tell a difference between them. Now, again, maybe once you get them all dressed up in the same stuff and you put the makeup on them, maybe you won't be able to do it, because the Bellas for a while, I thought you could tell the difference. And then sometimes there are times where it was like, so Armando V loved my conquistadors.
My question is, how are they going to use them? Are they going to use them the same way that they?
First, I think they got to see if they can do anything.
Exactly.
They'll get them in there and see how, because again, everybody thinks they got a plan until you get punched in the face. We're going to see how it goes, man.
They were talking about they didn't want to be in the WNBA and all that stuff. So, I mean, like I said, one of them is good and the other one is not that good. The other one, I think, comes off the bench. But
I didn't see her come off the bench once.
Huh?
I didn't see. I think it's Hannah didn't come off the bench once. Haley played, I believe, was the one that played.
Well, I'm being honest with you. I don't follow girls
I
basketball.
only followed in the tournament.
Yeah,
And
same thing.
I
So
only saw Haley play.
I started looking at it and I was like, oh, okay. And then I started noticing that, yeah, like I think it's Haley is the one that actually knows how to play. The other ones, eh. But man, I can't believe these girls became so famous because of some dances. I was looking at those dances on TikTok and I was like, oh my God, these people, they made $4.4 million doing these little small dances. And I mean, look, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
Became popular by showing people were doing stupid stuff, and he would do the common sense thing. What was that guy's name? He doesn't even talk on his stuff.
But these girls, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I don't even find them attractive. I think they're okay, but I can't believe that they made it this far and this big without like just because of them dancing. I was like, whatever. That's why I'm telling you, I'm not sold on them.
Listen,
I don't know.
man, go down to any club here in Miami, Florida, Hollywood. You look at stuff and you're like, yeah, no, don't think so. Somebody comes in right behind you, and what happens? Make it rain, baby. He's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, but again, I'm not that interested in them coming in. I'm interested. I want to know how if they incorporate them, if they're able to hang in NXT.
Right now, to me, they're in high school. They're high school football players. If they can make it through the training, they'll get up into college. They can
middle school. They're middle school.
See what happens.
They're middle school. They've never even done a flip.
They're not even a 3-star athlete yet right now on my radar.
Yeah. I mean, good luck for them. I want them to succeed.
But it doesn't sound like you do there. It doesn't sound like you do. Maybe they're an AEW.
It's not that I don't want them to succeed. I want them to succeed. I just don't know how you're gonna add them on there because like you've already, how are you gonna compare them to the Bellas? The Bellas were so good.
It's the Garcias.
Well, I know, but anyways,
there's no more Bellas.
Still. I mean, remember when
I would laugh if they brought them out as like the fake Bellas, like they did the fake Diesel and fake Razor, and they bring out the fake Bellas.
No.
It'd be so great.
Terrible.
By the way, I'm kidding. I don't know how many of you know sarcasm, but yeah, just kidding.
Or like when Dusty did the fake Dusty Rhodes.
The Midnight Rider, baby. I'm not Dusty Rhodes. What do you mean I'm Dusty Rhodes? I'm Midnight Rider.
I finally watched the documentary. It was really good, man.
So good, dude.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It had me a little bit teared up at the end, man. When
they went to the Florida Championship Wrestling stuff, I was like, man, because I used to watch that with my grandfather, dude. I had tear in my eye watching that. I was like,
yeah, man.
Oh, I remember when that stuff happened. So good stuff.
It was a really good documentary. If you haven't watched it, watch it, guys. It's really
Iron Sheik one came out too. I want to watch that one next, but I can never catch them until like Thursday's my day where I try to catch things up before we gotta go to the casino. So yeah, please smash that like button. Thank you, Nicholas, for reminding everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
I told you about the mock draft next year. You know what? We'll talk Cody and Brock. It's been set for Backlash. We'll talk that at a different time. It's almost 9:00 already, and we haven't got to Frankie's favorite part of the show.
Wait. I know we're you don't want to talk.
No, go ahead, go. I feel like I'm holding you up, so
we could talk for 5-6 hours. We're good.
All right. So I see pots and pans come flying at your head or something.
Shinsuke
Nakamura.
Man, my pronunciation suck. Oh. Okay, so what you think about his return? What did you think about his fight? And what you think about Karrion Kross coming in and probably most likely being his next opponent? What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be a good show for Shinsuke to come back. I honestly think they let him pick his opponent, and Karrion being that opponent because I think they're trying to make him happy.
Now, let me ask you. Let me throw something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They already said that Roman's going to fight in Clash of the Champions. So what? No, not Clash of the Champions. What am I talking about? Night of the Champions. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
What about if you put Shinsuke against Roman Reigns for that pay-per-view? I think you could do that. I mean, Shinsuke's not going to win, but that would be a good pay-per-view fight, especially since he just came back. Nobody's seen him.
You know what's funny is what I would do for that title match. I would like throw every obstacle at Roman and make it like a 4-way, and then have Roman win it.
Because they did
Shinsuke in there. You could throw, I don't know. You could have a couple other guys in there, and then you end up having Roman win it anyways. But it's one of those, Matt, where I don't want to see Shinsuke against Roman right away because I know what's going to happen. I just feel like, and if you're going to build him up for 3 weeks just to feed him to Roman, I got to believe there's more on the table than that for Shinsuke, or he wouldn't have came back because he was really thinking of leaving.
Mm.
My understanding, and that's why they let him go to fight Muda in Muda's last showing, over in Japan. And then they also, they made sure that Muda got inducted into Hall of Fame because it meant stuff. It meant something to Shinsuke. And then now the NJPW and all those guys are over here all the time. I mean, like, I don't know if you saw, but on in WrestleMania week, he was with all the guys that are wrestling over in AEW now. Like, he was in the Chinese houses with Muda, and they were all together just eating. And Muda made fun of Shinsuke because Shinsuke was still in his tux. He's like, this guy wears a tux eating Chinese food. It's like, they had fun with it, but it was all those guys hanging out, thinking about the old days. New Japan, All Japan, all that stuff.
Everybody was in LA though, so
yeah. No, I mean, but everybody was there. But those are the times where it's like the winter meetings are where everybody talks, right? The combine, everybody talks. The big events are usually when everybody's talking. Like, hey, how much time you got left on your deal? What's left on your deal? Hey, they're talking to each other as friends. But one of those friends, I guarantee, is going to go back to Tony Khan and be like, hey, Shinsuke just re-signed. He's out. Or Shinsuke re-signed, extended a deal for a little bit, but, he might be ready by January. Those talks are had between each other. You can say what you want to say, and you can be the guy that goes and turns, hey, WWE's talking to me, Tony. You might want to give me more money.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, but then it happens all the time.
I mean, I thought that the fight that he had against Madcap, was not a bad fight. It looks like they're trying to make Madcap a heel now, like really strong.
Yeah, it's a return. They're trying something with him, man.
So
I think they should have left him as that little Joker character that he was doing. I thought he did.
I think they should bring him to Raw.
Maybe we'll see, but I know his wife is with him now too. So Emma's his wife. So
we'll see. Then the last thing before we change it up is Gunther and Xavier Woods. Who do you got?
Oh, come on, man. Come on, really? You're asking me Gunther all day and night.
But do you think they're gonna keep pushing that and build on it?
Gunther's gonna be your IC champion for a while.
No, but do you think there's gonna be a storyline between those two going back and forth and they're gonna fight multiple times? You don't think so? I think they will. I think they are.
Nope, because this is the reason I say no. I think Xavier's gone to Raw. I think Gunther's gone to Raw and Xavier stays there. I think they're getting split up. I believe all this stuff that's happening now is just trying to get the Backlash and the draft and Backlash and be done with it.
I don't know, man. I think Gunther's gonna stay in SmackDown.
He may, but I don't see them two being sorry, Karen threw out a
I saw that.
But Dolphin would be a great WWE wrestler, big, strong, charismatic. I think Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips gives off a Rock vibe.
To all my Tua lovers, Tua's not. Actually, Tua would be great because he would always be hurt. He would always be like Cody, always having to battle back up and
he'd be in the bloodline. Tua would be in the bloodline, man.
Exactly. They would pick on him. They would push him.
Acknowledge me.
He would try. He would try.
Acknowledge this.
He would try to get acknowledged. He would try to get acknowledged, but you got a little bit too excited there.
Yeah, but I think, man, I think Zach Sealer.
I like Zach Sealer.
Would make a good wrestler. I mean, he probably have to get in a little bit better shape, but I mean, he comes across like big country type. And of course, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, they already got the talk. They got the gift of gab, and they're athletic.
Yeah.
Landon Roberts, he's got that build, I haven't seen him really open up a lot, but I mean that build, he could be something. He reminds me like a little Ivan Putski back in the day. I don't know anybody remembers old Polish power Ivan Putski. He was so muscular. He used to do this thing of Polish hammer where he'd have the hands and he'd right across the heart and boom, So I think some of those guys, and Mike McDaniel would be a perfect like manager, man. He reminds me of Harvey Whippleman.
That's a good one.
Mike
that is
McDaniel.
a good one. That's a good one. And remember, he's like he has that like cool, calm and collected type of look. So like, you could probably just like I told you last time when I went to the UFC fights, he was just walking around Bayside like it was all gravy, and I was like, wow, this guy is so cool. But I do agree with Jalen Phillips. I think Jalen Phillips would be a beast in wrestling. So,
yep, 100%. All right, you got anything else on the WWE?
Nah, I only difference that I have, I do think Xavier Woods is gonna be. They're gonna put him to fight more with Gunther. I think they're gonna push Xavier Woods again. I don't know why. I just get that vibe. I get that vibe.
Good for Xavier if it does happen that way, but
he's not gonna get obviously a championship like the world like the Universal Championship or anything like that. But the Intercontinental belt, hell yeah, I see that. I just
don't see him beating Gunther. He doesn't beat Gunther.
No, I don't think he does.
Big E back now. Big E comes out and does something and costs him now.
That would be cool if Big E.
That could be something. I mean, then I could see something. I just don't see cleanly 1-on-1 Gunther losing to
Xavier.
Exactly that guy. Yep, Xavier Woods.
Gotcha. I mean, like again, I think it's a interesting fight. I'll definitely tune in and watch and see what happens.
You know, what's funny is every time I see Xavier Woods, I think of Apollo Creed.
I like Xavier Woods' trumpet. He's always messing around with his trumpet. Even though I wasn't happy when he performed at the Sunday Stunner.
Hey, this is a PG show there. We're talking about his trumpet. Trombone, isn't it?
I thought it was a trumpet, but it might be a trombone. But either way, I remember I was very disappointed in the Sunday Stunner when he was out there. So he needs to make up for his lack of wrestling.
Since he wasn't there, you're just gonna give him the Intercontinental title over Gunther.
He's not gonna win it, but I think you could build a story off of it, man.
I can build a story off of it. Xavier Woods lost, gone. To Raw, you go.
And Gunther SmackDown.
He's gonna be like Raw.
And Gunther stays in SmackDown. Maybe I'm talking up my ass, but still, I think you could build something against those two. It's not gonna be like a long story, but just something to kind of like push for maybe Backlash. Why not? Shaw doesn't like any of my predictions. You see that they're pushing this guy Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. That's gonna be a Backlash.
It's gonna be good. I just don't know how they end it, man. It's like, who do you put over?
I put Bronson Reed over. You have to. Bobby Lashley's already big. He's already fought big guys. He's already done it really well. I think it's Bronson Reed.
Lashley could run for another shot at Roman. If he beats Bronson now, he could be another competitor for Roman for at least a couple months. Yes, Nate G, Tyreek Hill, the 24/7 champion. No one would catch him. He'd be what was the guy's name? Reggie. Reggie had the belt and he kept flipping away from everybody.
Isn't R-Truth coming back? I think I heard he's coming back from his injury.
Man. I was so happy when the Prime bottle opened up and I was like, R-Truth! And everybody's like, it's KSI. I go, who?
That's that. See, the way you felt about KSI is the same way I felt about the twins, the Cavender twins. I was like,
yeah, but the Cavender twins are just starting to train. This guy comes out in WrestleMania. Like everybody's like, oh my God, it's KSI.
But if you obviously you don't follow, but if you notice, I mean, there's videos and there's photos, everything with KSI promoting Prime and all that stuff. So it's not a surprise that it was him.
No. Listen, I guess you gotta get on WrestleMania somehow. Next time, I volunteer to be the Prime bottle. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll do the Prime. All right, let's move over. The Fresco Wrestling Alliance.
Yes.
All Elite Wrestling. We are here. Frankie Fresco, where do you want to start? This guy, I'll tell you now, I've got 4 topics. This guy, AEW's got like 276. We might be here till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
We do have a lot of topics about AEW. It's always good to talk about AEW. You guys know that the Square Circle Digest is not the same without AEW. Um, so let's do one by one. So
All right.
first, let's talk about our boy Jay White. How what
Okay.
he has his new. Hold on, let me update my notes here for a
Oh my
second. Let me
goodness.
bring it here.
Oh
Let me
boy,
get
he's
my
got a
notes.
notepad. Oh my goodness, guy's
Of
so good.
course, because I gotta be as prepared for AEW because every time I watch AEW now,
Hey, show up your notepad. Where's your notepad?
every time.
Hold on, let me see your notepad, man. Look at that guy's notepad. Look at mine.
But you know that I'm always messing up names. I'm
No, but
always like,
you can't see. Like right now, I'm gonna look at my laptop because that's where I have my notes written.
see, I only have my laptop. That's what I'm gonna do next time. I'm gonna connect my other desk, my monitor next to it, and then have my notes on that one as
Did you
well.
notice I put the new belts up?
I did notice that. I
And the
saw that.
ROH
You
is
know,
over there now, and the X division's over
okay,
there.
so I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to apologize to my AEW fans. I was very, very close of buying a WWE belt. Very, very close. It was on sale. I think it was going for like $200. I was like, man, that one's a good belt. And then I said, I can't do it. I can't do it for my AEW.
Yeah, just
Can't do it.
couldn't do it, huh?
I gotta buy. I'm gonna try to buy an AEW belt on the Wednesday Dynamite next week. Tune in, guys. If you see me, make sure you give me a shout out. Hopefully, Sean makes it. I'm gonna have to grab Sean and take him with me because he's definitely uh acting like he doesn't want to go, but he needs to go. We have to go. We're going to all these shows. We gotta make it happen in AEW, Sean. We have to make it happen.
Calling me out right here on the show.
And
Well,
not only that. So check this out, and I hope you guys don't mind. Pardon my excitement. Uh, um, I'm gonna be out there at AEW. If you guys are gonna be there in Sunrise, Florida, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna have a microphone, and I'm gonna be recording and interviewing fans. So if you guys are local, Cap for Life, Karen, Armando, Nate, anybody who's on the chat, anybody who watches us or listens to us on all the streaming networks, hey, let me know. I'll be out there, and I have no problem interviewing you guys. And I'm gonna pass it on to Sean eventually, the video, and then we could even play some of them
no,
for
you
one of
play
the
it right
shows.
here, definitely.
Yeah, we'll play some for the show, and
Again,
then
this show is for everybody. Like, yeah, me and Frankie are on here debating everything, but that's why we want to keep the chat going. We want to go out to some shows. We're going to try to get to some CCW shows also,
yes.
and some other things. We want this to be show for the fans, by the fans, talking wrestling and having fun, man. This is your show as much as it is my show.
So Jay White, new name, Bullet Club Gold. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Sean doesn't show that much emotion, but I know he's excited about it. And then
I just think you could have done so much more with them.
and then you have his first fight tomorrow against
I like
Commander.
that.
That's
I
a
like
good
that,
fight.
man. Yeah, dude. Let me tell you something, man. Look, I'm never gonna fault the in-ring of AEW. It's just I wish they would do more for the casual wrestling fan who has no clue of who Commander is. You know, what I'm saying? Like those are the things I wish they would do more of. You've got a YouTube channel, you've got social media. Throw out a little clip, a minute and 30 seconds of who Commander is.
But
Show
I
some
mean,
of his highlights from AAA. Hype him up. The guys, I mean, look, I'm excited for that match. Same with Jay White. Yeah, we know who Jay White is, but there's a lot of casual wrestling fans, no clue who Jay White is. Why is this guy such a big hoo-ha over anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my problem I have with a lot with what AEW does is they just do not like it's like they take for granted that, well, if our hardcore fans know who he is, then everybody does. And that's not the and how many goddamn Bullet Clubs do we have to have? Good God. Bullet Club, we couldn't come up with a new name?
I mean, it happens, man. We gotta sometimes here and there just we could be a little bit more creative in AEW, but it's okay. It's okay. We have a lot to sell. We have a lot to go through. We're only growing bigger. we're gonna talk a
Baker,
little.
the ratings went down last week.
Did you see the pre-sale tickets for that Wembley Stadium? Are you kidding me? We're up to 50,000 pre-registered people ready to go. They were the number one wrestling show over there in Europe.
And
Top.
SummerSlam in Detroit sold out in 26 seconds.
Well, the tickets haven't gone on sale. It's just a pre-register. So they're gonna sell in about 5 seconds. That's what they're gonna do over there. They're gonna
AEW.
what's gonna happen over there is that they're gonna crash. They're gonna crash when the site for how many people are gonna be buying the tickets.
No, that's gonna be a good. That's dude. I'm happy that they're selling well, man. I just think that they do not market good enough in the U.S., man. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. They need to work on that. It's here
and
there.
Also, I think it's lazy. Bullet Club Gold. I just think it's lazy, man. What unless their plan is to bring all these Bullet Clubs at some point in, it just do away with the Bullet Club right now.
I'm excited. I think Jay White is gonna be. It's gonna be a
very
good
excited
fight.
for the match. I'm not happy with the way they brought him in. I'm not happy with the name of the group they gave him, but I know the guy can go inside the squared circle, and I know Commander can go inside the squared circle.
Yes,
and it's gonna be a hell of a matchup tomorrow night on AEW.
Guys, tune in, man. What a fight! That's gonna be such a great fight. Obviously, I don't see Commander
can walk the ropes like the Undertaker.
Yeah, man. Commander is very talented. Obviously, Jay White is gonna win that fight, but still, it's gonna be a great fight. That's how I look at it.
Or will he win?
There's no way.
You got Juice Robinson. Maybe they maybe they attack him. Commander is there. Maybe they bring out.
Who's gonna help Commander? Nobody's gonna help Commander. Nah, they're not bringing
Vikingo. And then you bring a tag team match for him.
Nah, they're not gonna do that. They're just setting up Commander for him, just to showcase Jay White. And then I think they're gonna build up on the whole
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks, yeah, Ricky Starks and him. So that's what they're gonna do. And then the Wembley situation, like I said, 50,000. That's good. I told you that if they're able to sell about 50 or 60,000, that's a win-win for them, in my opinion. I hope.
Honestly, man, I know we were messing around there. I believe overseas they're better than they are here in the U.S.
And not only that, but if they do really well, man, that they're gonna do the same thing as WWE. They'll have a show overseas all the time now because they know that they could sell better than here sometimes.
100% sell better here. That's why you got 6 pay-per-views in Chicago and Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean, it is really. You look at the pay-per-views. It's Chicago and it's Vegas.
Yeah, and the whole main event of there. Let's jump into that. Obviously, if you
speculate main event, or
you want me to speculate it, I'm gonna tell you.
I'm saying, are you talking about the one that's been speculated for the main event for Wembley, or
well, what have you heard? I heard it's that they're pushing for CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. That's what I heard.
Interesting.
What did you hear?
I heard Elite against FTR and CM Punk.
No. So maybe, but
and Mr. AEW's like, no, I'm telling you what it is right now.
No.
I'm Mr. AEW. I talked to TK before we went on the air.
So let's go ahead and inform the fans of what's going on here. So apparently Twitter news is saying that there's going to be a new show for AEW.
Yes.
They're going to split the roster because the Young Bucks still do not want to get over CM Punk. The Young Bucks really disappointed me because, come on, man, you got to put the company, the show, your character over any foolishness that you guys had a couple months ago. I
think that's just BS. I don't think that's legit.
I think it is because you know who came out, and remember, it's if it was WWE, I would probably agree with you, but it's AEW, and you know what they do over there in AEW? They let you control your own stuff. You say whatever you want. Kenny Omega already came out saying that he's willing to fight CM Punk. Chris
Yep.
Jericho already came out saying, "Hey, I'm willing to be bygones and do it." And that's why I honestly feel that they're going to push CM Punk and Chris Jericho for that main event over there. So what they're planning to do is, I don't know if it's true or not, but the show it's called Collision. Apparently,
Yeah.
I hope that's not the name of the show, but and they're going to put it on Saturdays. Now, do I agree with them putting it on Saturdays? No, because once you bring college football and all that stuff, man, it's going to be hard for them to have viewerships on
Yeah, but
that.
how else are you gonna do it though?
um, I don't know.
You have to think the show's
I don't know if you're gonna.
they said the show is probably gonna be on TNT, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
TNT has Tuesday and Thursday basketball during basketball season
I don't know if you're gonna
and,
like this.
and hockey and stuff. So
I don't know if this is a good idea. Throw it on Monday, man. Throw it on Monday. Throw it on Monday. See
I
how
mean,
it goes.
I guess you'd rather do Monday than Friday because you're not beating SmackDown. So
Well, did you hear? Are they gonna get rid of Rampage?
Rampage? No, they recorded already. I mean, it's
So that's why. So they're gonna have 3 shows. So
yeah,
if
but
it,
it'd be they'll just record the Rampage at the Dynamite probably
yeah,
and replay that like they do now. I mean, that's
yeah.
like this is the whole thing with this show is if it's not live, it's not going to work.
Oh, look at Nate. Yes, Nate, that is so true. They're so good. Oh man, can't wait to see them next Wednesday. Look at Sean. He's probably looking at like, of course, an AEW comment. They're so good. Yeah. So I throw it on Monday.
I mean, the other thing I was thinking is you do it 6 to 8 like the old Georgia Championship Wrestling days, WCW on TBS. Because also remember now, you're doing pay-per-views on Saturday a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
now you could do a lead in 6 to 8 right into your pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You know, I mean, I'm saying if they keep
But
it on
how many viewers are you gonna get on a Saturday from 6 to 8? That's my concern.
how many viewers you gonna get all together on Saturday anyways? I mean, who's gonna be like, hey, I need to be home to watch AEW Collision?
Exactly.
I mean,
Everybody usually goes out, they're with their families and stuff like that. You gotta I hope that's why I would say throw it on a Monday, man. And Monday Night Raw starts at 8 or 9. Is it 8, 9?
what shows are on TNT on Monday though? What's Monday's?
I think basketball. I think they
No,
have the
Tuesday and Thursday is basketball.
No. I think they have basketball, but with Shaquille O'Neal and the
No,
other
that's
group.
Tuesday.
That's
TNT
Tuesday?
Tuesday nights. Yeah, Tuesday and Thursdays is usually the TNT games. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know what days you do it because there's not a lot of opportunities for them.
Can't do it on a Thursday because of basketball. Can't do it. Wednesday already have. Friday they already have Rampage.
I mean, you do Tuesday, but then you're doing Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, I mean, Monday, Wednesday live. That's gonna be. I get it, 2 different rosters, but that's a lot, man, because they don't have a creative. It's Tony. Tony would
Yeah.
basically have to do Monday show, right Tuesday show for Wednesday.
Yeah. I I say give it a run on Monday. You're gonna have to compete with Monday Night Raw, but you know, it is what it is.
Not only that, but then also football season, you've got Monday Night Football.
True, but you started off a little bit early. Started off at maybe 7. Run it for and how long is the show gonna be? Is it gonna be an hour or 2 hours? I think it's gonna be an hour.
I believe 2.
Really?
I believe they said 2 hours. That's why I said 6 to 8.
Mm, it's gonna be rough, man. I don't know. They're gonna have to play with it. They're gonna have to play and see what works for them. Maybe Saturday is the best option, but I still think that's not gonna hold up in the ratings. I think they're gonna struggle because there's too many people who
I
are not
think they're
like what you
gonna
said.
struggle, man.
You said it. Oh, let me stay home to watch AEW. Who's gonna stay at home to watch AEW? Like you only stay at home at nighttime, and
Yeah, it
that's all.
says another 2 hours of programming from All Elite Wrestling is rumored to be on the way, indicating AEW is set to debut a new Saturday night series in the summer. CM Punk reportedly be the star of the new Saturday title show, and 2-time AEW is reportedly likely to start a feud with Chris Jericho and returns the promotion later this year.
Yep. And then the other thing is they're doing that because there's rumors that some of the people at AEW, some of the wrestlers don't want to work with CM Punk, and some of them do. So in order to kind of like ease the tension, they're gonna split the roster and they're gonna have some
Yeah,
work
but
Rampage and Dynamite, and then the other
I
show.
think you Look, AEW has a good roster. I'm not saying anything about that. But now you split it. I mean, I don't know that, like, who goes with CM Punk? Because you're gonna have to keep Elite and Kenny Omega over on Dynamite, obviously. If you're saying there's issues there, which I think might be a little bit of malarkey there. I believe that might just be setting things up, but you never know. But you're talking about in June. We're in April now. In June, having this kick off, and now you're going to divide up. So Jericho obviously will go there. So that's like a Jericho Appreciation Society over there, right?
Yeah.
MJF would have to stay, I guess, at Dynamite because he would be the lead guy there. But now, do you make another heavyweight title, or does MJF go to both?
I would say MJ goes to both.
Okay.
Because he's their biggest attraction.
Yeah. What about like Wardlow, Hobbs, the TNT title? I guess technically it can stay there because because
it's TNT.
They defend the TNT title on TBS. So, but I guess that technically could go there as well. You got the TBS champion Jade Cargill.
Damn, they haven't used her at all, man. Damn.
I think she's been. I think she's had an injury.
Oh,
she had a little tweak. Nothing major. Just like there's no need for her right now because right now they're just building up for her and Taya before they finally.
Which is good.
She did something to Taya this week, and then now it'll get better. Yeah. But I like the slow build that they're doing on it because there's no need to rush it, man. Sometimes I feel they rush things a little bit too much. Like they have a pay-per-view next month. They're not like WWE. They got months before a pay-per-view. It's like relax, slow build.
Yeah, that's true. But since you brought it up, obviously we have a great fight tomorrow as well, the TNT belt. I'm happy to see Wardlow back. He actually did a great promo when he destroyed Hobbs's car last week. And I mean, I think it's going to be a great fight as well. I think Wardlow's going to win. I think Wardlow will take it. I think he sells more than Hobbs, to be honest with you. But I still think. Well, actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna say Hobbs wins because of QT Marshall and that QT Marshall show that QTV that they're pushing a lot. So I don't think Wardlow's gonna win it. I think they're gonna try to keep it like that and try to like.
I think they push it until the pay-per-view. I think Wardlow wins it at the pay-per-view or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
They might change it just to throw something there. I mean, you just never know with them too, because then of course Hobbs can go back after, just depending on how it finishes off. I liked everything they did with the Wardlow and everything, flipping the car and everything. I thought once he got in the arena, something just seemed rushed. Like I don't know if
maybe they should have ended it.
If Solo or somebody was supposed to be more out of the way, or somehow something got. It just looked like a bunch of jumbo, and then Solo ended up getting the power bomb through the table, and it was like it seemed like they weren't supposed to meet at that. Everybody met at one spot where nobody could get around or out. But I mean, I think overall, again, it's very minute things, man. It's very minute things, but they do need to clean up. I'm still trying to watch the All Access show. I like it and I don't like it. Have you watched any of that? The All Access?
Yes, I have been watching it. It's actually really good.
I like the way they do the behind the scenes and stuff, but I just don't think they give enough on the production side of it. Like,
no, I like it. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. I like the fact that
it's cool to watch it.
They tell the stories of the whole Thunder Rosa issue that they were going through. The whole the whole beef that that Sammy Guevara had with Eddie Kingston. Yeah, that was good as well. But the ratings are not showing it. Did you see it? The ratings went down.
Dude, did you see
Thursday?
This past Wednesday. What happened on Rampage? Rampage was on after a playoff game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the play-in games this week.
Yes.
So after the play-in game, they started with 1.4 million people.
Wow.
The beginning of Rampage.
Yeah, NFL.
And it helped them because the rest of the show was, and it shot them up because they started with 1.4 for the first 15 10 or 15 minutes of the show because of the lead in. It's all about the lead in, man.
But
It really is.
again, if they would use Rampage and do it live, I think they would have, maybe then I would have cracked the million, but they would have at least what they ended up in. I think they ended up like in like,
638.
oh wow, well, that's not bad, but
No,
that's
but you got to
one of
remember,
the
they
best
started at
shows.
1.4.
Yeah, you lost more than half,
It's
right?
an hour show, and the first 15 minutes was 1.4.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think AEW has a lot of opportunity for growth. They're still young. They're
No,
still
exactly.
going.
That's the thing. It's just
And like you said, they rush a lot of stuff. But
it's rushed because I think they try again. I think it's the one of the better things they do, and one of the things that's detrimental to them is they give a lot of flexibility to these guys and gals. And
and
sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
we didn't even talk about it, but bringing in this third show, how's that going to affect Ring of Honor, man? That's another thing, because that's
Well,
a third. You got, because if you split the roster, and now you're gonna, what are you gonna do with Ring of Honor? Jesus Christ! Like,
oh, you just leave it on their Ring of Honor channel. Like they record them now every.
no, but what
record
I'm talking about the rosters, like man, it's gonna be a little bit rough because now, like,
they're technically not AEW. That is what Tony Khan said.
yeah, but
Ring of Honor is Ring of Honor. AEW is AEW.
the only difference between the two is the name. The wrestlers are always interchanging left and right, which is what frustrates me when it comes to Ring of Honor. But overall, like, I'm excited about the fight. I actually like,
AEW sucks, is what you're saying.
AEW does not suck. AEW is a work in progress. Let's talk a little bit about Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Yes. So, see, another reason to come back and to go to the live show.
The one thing when I saw that, I just said, I hope he's fully healed, man. I hope he's at peace with himself. I just, it's one of them things, man. It's not like this was his first time, man. It wasn't his second time. I believe it was his third DUI that he got caught doing. And if you've been caught 3 times, you've probably done it a bunch more, man. I just want him to be healthy, man. I just hope he doesn't just rush back too soon, man.
I heard that he was still he had some lingering injuries, but they still brought him out there. People were criticizing as well the way that they, like, why did they bring him in again, just like Jay White, on a regular Wednesday night, Friday night show? Why didn't they bring him in on a pay-per-view? But
I don't necessarily think it has to be a pay-per-view, but why didn't they like have Ethan Page and them kind of beat him down and leave, Hardy, Matt, and then there where it's like, oh, they need to find that one person that can have their back, and then you bring it back next week. You don't have to just answer it right there. I mean, it's almost like, hey, Jeff, you're here. All right, good. We're gonna put you out there. And again, I know that's not how it was because I know I listened to what Tony said and Matt on his podcast and everything else that Jeff's been going through things. There was things where he not relapsed, but he had issues with some injuries and things like that he was fighting through. And the only thing that I want, man, is for him to be, 100% at peace with himself to where he can go out there and I get it. He's not the Jeff Hardy what he was. And that's the thing that I hope he's not out there doing all this crazy crap again, because that's what's going to make him have to self-heal himself. And that's where he gets into problems, man, because anybody that's had addiction or knows people that have had addiction, as soon as you get one time, it's like, okay, I can control it. No, you can't control it, man. You can't. You believe you can, and you can hide it, but that's not controlling it.
And that's been going on.
That's when it's over.
That's been going on for years because, like I told you, when I saw Yokozuna documentary in A&E, they had done they had made him go. They offered him to go to Duke University to do the food, like to control his food, because he was the weight training. Yes, the weight loss, and because he was gaining way too much weight, and then he didn't want to go over there because he was like, no, I don't want to move all the way over there. So he went home and he did the training, the weight loss at his home. And when after like 3 or 4 months of not wrestling, he comes back. He was more overweight. So you're right. It's not something that you're gonna be able to just from day and night. Just go ahead and just
Nobody will
get
ever
better.
understand unless you do it, man. And it's the same with everything. Like you're not going to feel, like football players, they get in car accidents for 4 hours every Sunday. And they got the best medicine and the best thing that teams can buy. A lot of the wrestlers don't, man. Don't.
No,
I mean, Tony Khan's a little different. WWE's gotten a lot better. Don't get me wrong, but there's still like when you're driving, you wrestle, for 30 minutes, getting thrown around, and then you hop in a car, 3 or 4 of you, and you're in a little, whatever, sedan, and you're driving 2.5 hours to the next town. Then when you get out, your legs are like, stuck, and the knees are popping and everything else. You just want to get comfortable. You pop a couple pills and go, man. And then, hey, heaven forbid, somebody knocks on your door, is like, hey, you want to go out? And you forget, hey, I've already taken whatever. And it's one of those things, man, where like I said,
look at Matt Riddle.
I want Jeff Hardy to be is 100% at peace with himself and know that he's through everything, man. Just don't rush back to be back in that spotlight, man. Take care of you, man. Take care of you, your family. I mean, and again, I think that's one of the things where I believe, listening to Matt and everything else is they're more probably involved now than I think they probably were, or at least maybe closer to the situation than what they were before. But then again, you can't be around everybody all the time, man. That is my only worry, man.
Well, look at Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's been going through some stuff too.
Yeah, but again, that's one of the things, and kudos to AEW and kudos to WWE is that, when somebody goes to them, like I don't know if you've seen what came out recently about Rey Mysterio.
No, what
he got addicted to painkillers, and he went to Vince and he said, "Hey Vince, I've got to go away for a while. And he said, and Vince went to him and said, "You're a man for coming to me and telling me that." And they sent him to the rehab. But
look at Moxley,
things, man.
Look at Moxley when Moxley had to go to rehab too.
It's those things, man. It just, as you do it, you're like, oh, I got this under control because I'm drinking more, or you feel like you have it under control, and it's just spiraling more and more out of control.
Yeah,
and that's why the only thing I worry about, and man, I was happy to, when I saw Sean Ross Sapp and from Fightful's report that Jeff Hardy was there and he's penciled in, and I was like, oh man, I was kind of one of those things where I was like, I'm happy to see him because obviously he, and you know what the funniest part about it was? He looked old coming to the ring, and it made me happy.
He looked rusty too.
It made me happy because I said, okay, because he's not taking anything. He's showing the effects of 20 years of pro wrestling on your body coming down the ring. It's not masked by anything, and that was one of the things where I was like, but again, on the AEW schedule, you're doing it on Wednesdays. You don't have to do it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You go in on Wednesday, you do it, and you go home.
True.
Can you get through that? Hopefully.
Well, I'm excited. I hope he does fight next Wednesday when he's down here at Sunrise.
Well, no, they're recording a Hardy compound match. It's going to be the Firm with Stokely Hathaway against Matt, Jeff, Private Isaiah, and one more person. Who's the other person with them?
From the Stokely crew?
No, with Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Who'd they save this last time? It was Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy. They came down to save.
I thought it was only Private Party.
No, because the one guy's hurt. Isaiah Cassidy's wrestling. The other one's hurt. But they're going to do a Hardy compound match. They're going to record it. I don't know if you've ever seen those matches. Well, Bray Wyatt did one.
Oh, okay.
In WWE when Hardy and Bray, and then I don't know if Jeff got involved in that one.
What?
I think we did. But what they do is they go to his house and they record. They got like a drone flying around, and it records everything, and they fight. And then his son's there, his father's there, his wife's there, and It's a cinematic match, but it's always been pretty good. So, but I don't know when they're recording that, if that's for the next week, because Hathaway came out and was like, I'm just getting out of being injured from fighting Hook, and now I'm told I'm in an 8-man tag at the Hardy compound. So he was
Typical AEW move.
oh, it was so good. I mean, it was a pretty good promo. If you get a chance, if you follow Hathaway or Stokely Hathaway, I'm sorry, I keep saying Hathaway first, but Stokely Hathaway, you should listen to it. It's pretty interesting. And again, man, I know I mess with you about the AEW, you being Mr. AEW. I think that the talent and the matches are good, man. I just don't understand. And I'm more of and look, WWE gets away from it many times too. But to me, they have more storytelling going on in their stories that interest me to make me watch than what AEW is. When I watch AEW right now, it's like, okay, I'm watching a wrestling show. When I'm watching WWE, you're kind of watching a more
telenovela,
produced show that's leading to a ending. Like last night, for
soap
instance.
opera.
Yeah, like last night, it was the big blow off, the turf war. It was, and you know what? Do we have time, or you need to go?
No, I got all the time you need.
Right. I got a question, and anybody that's in the chat right now that wants to be involved in this, let me ask you a WWE question.
Uh-oh.
Why do you bring back the Latino World Order to have them job to everybody?
Because they're Latinos.
Because here, by the way, I'm going to go with AEW first. The merch categories, number one. You want to try to guess, Mr. AEW, the number one merchandise category? It's grouped by the talent. So
you mean by like the wrestler, like who sold the most? Mm-hmm. CM Punk,
FTR.
That's it.
And then Blackpool Combat Club, the Young Bucks, Jay White, the Briscoe Brothers, the Outcasts. CM Punk is 7th.
Wow.
Eddie Kingston is 8.
Eddie Kingston. Wow.
The Acclaimed is 9.
Wow, they've lost some momentum.
Anna Jay is 10.
Because Anna Jay got that new.
Yeah, she got that booty. The booty shirt.
Even though she does that. I mean, she has a nice booty, but not.
Now, like for WWE, I'm going to go from 10 to 1. Number 10, Rey Mysterio and Mysterio's merchandise. Number 9, NWO.
Wow.
Number 8, Seth Rollins. Number 7, the Usos. Number 6, Roman Reigns. Number 5, Rhea Ripley. Number 4, WrestleMania merchandise. Number 3, John Cena.
Really? Still? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Number 2, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, wow. What beat Cody?
Number 1
Don't tell me the Latino World Order.
LWO.
Wow.
The Jobbers have got the best merchandise.
It's all the Latinos, baby. Stand up. Let's go.
That's it. And you got them losing there. Just, my God, man.
They might be losing, but Rey still wins.
Kevin Nash darted Rey Mysterio into the trailer on WCW Nitro.
But that's only that list is just sales for since when?
Oh, it's only for last week.
Okay, so maybe that's the reason why. I mean, Rey still wins, so you know they're gonna have him.
Last night.
Yeah, he did get beat last night, but still, typically he wins. I'm surprised that they're number 1. But hey, man, props to the Latinos. Then you know what? If they continue the sales like this, then they should push them and sell it, because obviously you're noticing who's gonna buy LWO. Who's gonna buy it? His Latinos. They're gonna.
You remember what WCW did with the Latino World Order?
No, what did they do with the Latino World Order?
They had Psychosis in them coming out in lawnmowers.
Psychosis was so good back in the day.
Psychosis, Super Crazy. They had LWO and they drove out on lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers.
Psychosis.
The worst thing I ever seen in my life.
What are you talking about? But it's Psychosis.
Oh, but you looked in the crowd crazy. And it's all LWO. I was like, okay, it's working.
I'm telling you, man. You put Psychosis to do anything, he's gonna sell it. I love Psychosis, and and Super Crazy was fun too.
Yeah,
S-
all
those guys were cool.
those guys, because you know what, they appreciated and they loved it.
Yeah, they did. They did.
That's the
They're
thing,
they're
man.
lucha guys. They're all lucha guys.
It's an honor
Lucha
to
Libre.
do what they do, man.
Why do you think Vikingo, Commander, these guys, Rey Mysterio, all these guys are so good in wrestling because they put that much, they put more heart into it. Conan, all
Yeah,
these
well, and then
guys.
also when you're wrestling over there, a lot of times you can wrestle almost, I believe, I don't know how it is anymore over there, but like you can find shows almost every day of the week. Like you could wrestle 7 days a week. Now you're not wrestling in front of, hundreds of thousands of people, but
Yeah.
you can find a show every day of the week over there, wrestling in front of, maybe the mat doesn't have, it's not a great ring or whatever.
Yeah.
I tell you what happened in Peru when we wrestled in Peru.
No, what happened in Peru?
I was the opening match in Peru.
Oh, man.
And we went and I did the D'Lo Brown where you picked them up and you sat out.
Okay.
So they put us in a boxing ring, first off. And then they put pallets. So they had the pallets, regular pallets now, not the. Have you ever seen like a ring underneath the ring?
Yes.
It's wood, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. They had pallets instead. So I went up, we sat, and we went through the pallets. And basically what you saw was an indentation in the ring. My back was in, we sunk into the things. So for him to kick out, he had to actually sit all the way up. And then there was a hole in the ring.
Oh
In the
my
middle of the ring.
God,
Right?
that's crazy.
Yep. It was fun.
It was fun.
Just the whole, because then we had a battle royal after. It's like, stay away from the hole.
Wait. They kept the rest of the matches with the hole in the middle?
Yeah, we were the first match.
I know, but I would have assumed they would have
stayed
probably
away from
tried
that
to.
area.
Oh my God. I would have thought they would have tried to try to fix it.
Here in Peru, we've wrestled in a bull arena. Like
Wow.
there was no it was the coldest night. Everything was rock. It was so cold in that place.
Wow, wrestling in Peru, that must have been fun.
It was fun. It was good. It was a good time.
I would have been.
So
Did you get to visit what is it, Machu Picchu? No.
No.
Okay.
There was an issue the 5th day on the thing, and we took off early and left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that's an experience. I honestly feel that I'm surprised that the LWO is number 1. Wow. That goes
Yeah,
to
it's
show
for
you.
this week, but again, what I'm trying to say is you have these guys doing, and it's like they're getting laid out every day. Every time they're out there, they get laid out. Except for
Yeah.
last night at the end of the show, they were standing tall with Frankie, with Sammy, Kevin, and Matt Riddle there. But it's like you brought this back. You've had Santos Escobar on radio and podcast saying he's doing this because he respects the heritage of Latino culture and what it's meant to wrestling. And then they go out there and they just get destroyed every week. It's like, and I get it. They've only been together for 3 or 4 weeks, so you can't say every week, but
look at the list that you just the list that you mentioned. You also mentioned on there NWO. How long has it been? Anything about NWO?
can live forever, just like John Cena.
Exactly. So then,
That's,
if you bring NWO randomly, all of a sudden it's gonna skyrocket to number 1. It's probably the hot take right now. Everybody's like, "Oh, we gotta get LWO because it's it's."
yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's a certain demographic as well. So you get it just to have and be like Latino World Order. I'm sure people are buying the shirt just because of it being the Latino World Order, but it's just.
Where was Monday Night Raw this past Monday? Do you remember? Do you know?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
I wonder. I mean, all right. So quick story in the back. I drove once when I went to UF. You guys know I'm a Gator, so we might lose some listeners because of me saying that. So, anyways, I had to drive from Gainesville all the way to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I remember I went to Little Rock, Arkansas, and this was years ago. I mean, I'm in my mid-30s now, but what happened was I got to Little Rock, Arkansas. I had never been outside the state of Florida, but I was like 21 or 22. And I get there, and the funny part is I started looking around and I'm like, wait, what is this? And I start seeing like little Mexican taco places all around Little Rock, Arkansas. And I'm like, what is this? I had never seen that in Florida. Back then, you didn't see that. And then all of a sudden, I went to like a supermarket with my friend. And when we go in there, there's like Mexicans that are like at the supermarket, and they all go like this to me. They're like, and I was like, okay, they know I'm Spanish. They know I look Hispanic. I don't look white. So I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I was like, but I'm not Mexican, but yeah, I feel you. I see where you come from. But it was a hell of an experience. I wonder how I haven't been to Little Rock in years. Obviously, that was the first and last time I went there.
Yeah.
But I could only imagine that it has grown when it comes to that type of like demographic. And I think maybe there is more Hispanic people in Little Rock, Arkansas, because when I was there, they were already there.
No, I mean, again, there's so many things that go into it. I mean, kids will always go toward the Cena stuff because it's colorful. It's Cena, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. But man, King Mahi says same thing happens here in Pensacola. Oh, he's out there by the tribal chief.
It's the funny part about it is that Yokozuna, they in the documentary, they were talking about that.
He's Roman's
like uncle.
I think his uncle. Rosie is Roman's brother who passed away. I don't know if you remember 3 Minute Warning. Rosie and who was the other one? But that was, and Rosie, he did the superhero gimmick with Hurricane too.
I gotta look at their faces to remember.
That was Roman's brother. Let me see what Yokozuna was to Roman.
But I remember in the documentary, Yokozuna, he had opened up his the training facility over there in Pensacola. And then when I saw that, I was like, holy crap, Pensacola? Oh, there you go. Umaga was out there as well. Yeah. I mean, it's I'm surprised. You got some random stuff when I started noticing when Roman first came, he said from Pensacola, Florida. I'm like, this guy's from Pensacola, Florida? Like, who lives in Pensacola, Florida? But on a side note, my sister lives in Pensacola with her man. So I've been to Pensacola recently and I liked it. It was fun. It was entertaining, and I just never knew that they had that those facilities over there in Pensacola.
His cousin.
It was his cousin?
Yeah, it says Yokozuna's cousins were basically Roman Reigns, Rikishi, Samu, Rosie, Manu, Umaga, and The Rock were among his cousins.
Wow.
The Usos were his first cousins once removed.
And I had no idea.
Sika were his uncles.
I had no idea that Yokozuna was the very first Samoa to headline a WrestleMania, right? He was the first one. He did WrestleMania 9 and 10.
Yeah, I guess it would be, yeah.
Yeah, because he in WrestleMania 9, he fought against Hulk Hogan.
Well, he fought against Bret Hart, and then Hogan came out.
No, I think that was WrestleMania 10.
9 was Vegas, I thought, right?
9, I think, was when he beat Hogan. 10 was he lost to Bret Hart, if I'm not mistaken.
When he fell off the turnbuckle.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so 9 he lost to Hogan.
I thought he beat Hogan.
He beat Bret Hart, and then Hogan came out and Yokozuna challenged.
Oh, yes, you're right.
And then he beat him quickly.
Yes, you're right.
The next pay-per-view, Yokozuna won it back because they did the picture, the flame, into his face, being Jim Cornette or somebody being the photographer.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, you're correct. I forgot about Hulk Hogan coming in and beating
because
him.
The whole thing with Hogan doing it was his eye was all messed up from the parasailing accident with Brutus Beefcake.
Yep.
That's the accident that destroyed Beefcake's face, because they were supposed to both come back. And then Hogan kind of got thrown in the spot, and Bret Hart still, like, to this day, is upset about it.
Bret Hart's always upset.
Yeah.
I was a big Bret Hart fan, but I got upset because he keeps talking crap about AEW.
Oh, yeah, I figured. I send you everything he says about AEW.
Oh, my God. He has, like, the biggest, like, hate on AEW. I'm like, man, what's this?
Karen, I was with you. I thought Yokozuna was Japanese for the first, not for the first 30 years, but when he first debuted, I was like, the hell is this guy? And then Luger body slammed him, and I remember that on the Intrepid, the USS Intrepid on July 4th, the Yokozuna body slam. They brought the narcissist Lex Luger in as Mr. USA.
That was classic.
In the helicopter, they brought him in, and he came out, and
he was the first one to body slam him, right?
Yeah. And then it was him. He fought Yokozuna at the beginning of the night. Bret Hart fought Owen Hart, and then
Yes.
Bret Hart fought Yokozuna at the end.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
lost
Yes.
to Owen,
That
and
was
then he beat
also
Bret. I mean, he beat
it
Yo.
wasn't that also the first
That was the MSG
la-
one.
the first ladder match between I think it was
Shawn
Shawn
Michaels and
Michaels.
Razor Ramon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was a great WrestleMania, man. I gotta watch that.
Oh, somebody
That
said Karen
WrestleMania.
said Ahmed Johnson picked up Yokozuna too. I wonder if that was before or after Luger. Probably after Luger, because then it became like you know what's funny is everybody's like, oh, the first person to slam Andre was Hogan, but now you see all this stuff come out in Japan. He was getting body slammed like all the time.
Yeah.
Stan
Well,
Hansen body slammed him and everything
I,
else.
I, I'm just surprised how big he got, man. That guy was like close to 700 pounds.
Oh, I mean, that's what happens, man, dude. You used to putting in. I mean, hell, it was like, what was Andre drinking like a case of beer a night and not even bothering him? You know how much weight that'll put on you? A case of beer.
But let me ask you something. Do you blame WWE or WWF at that time for his weight problem as well? I
I
think
mean,
I would.
I do in a way, yeah, because you see
Yeah.
him every night.
And it's his character.
And I get it that you can't sit there and be like, hey, you're getting fat or do something about it. But at the same time, like you got to worry about people's well-being. And again, but that was also around a time where there was a lot of stuff going on in there that they were just like, as long as I don't know about it,
Yeah. And that sucks.
you
Because
know.
he died at an early age. He died at
Look how many
34.
look how many guys in that time. And again, not all of it. Again, WWE probably wouldn't have stopped any of it. But if they would have had some of the testing they had now, and you know, and kudos to WWE because for me, you know, personally, it was MVP was found out to have a heart problem
Yes.
because of the wellness testing. You know, so it does good, but the other thing too is that they knew when you could pay. I forget which one it was. Maybe it was some on YouTube, but X Pac back in the day was doing one, you know, and he was really messed up anyways. And he was like, I used to pay guys to tell me when the piss tests were, and then I would pay guys to go in and piss for me.
I mean, people do that on the
No, I mean,
job.
I know, but I'm saying, but it's like, but that's how, you know, lackadaisical it kind of, well, yeah, they were doing something, but they really weren't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
And Karen brought up Ahmed Johnson, and I know we spoke about it a couple of minutes ago, but I remember Ahmed Johnson. What, is he still alive? No, he passed away, right?
no, I believe he's still alive.
Man, I remember Ahmed Johnson.
I want to say he was on, I think he's on a card coming up in
He's still wrestling?
California.
He
Well,
must be.
no,
He's
doing like a meet and greet. Not, I don't think he's. I think he's
I do
doing,
remember Ahmed picking up Yokozuna. I do remember that. Now that you bring it up, I'm like, Ahmed Johnson, I remember him. Man, you're bringing memories of my wrestling childhood.
yeah, he's still
Can't believe
alive.
he's, can't believe he's wrestling though. He must be up there with like, well,
I don't think he's right. I think he's doing like meet and greets and like, you know how
oh, okay.
like you know like what Devon's doing this Friday for, you know, at CCW at the anniversary show. You show up and get meet and greet. He'll probably come out in the crowd, do something. Maybe somebody will hit the ring and he'll do something to some, you know, little guy or something.
And a quick thing, Karen did mention it, and I think that's a great idea. Karen, you're bringing in some amazing helpful notes for AEW. That I think that would be great. I don't know if they're fans, but if you bring in like the TNT basketball commentators,
Oh yeah,
Charles
I forgot to
Barkley or
read
something
that.
like that,
Yeah.
that one, man, that would be great. I think if you bring in Charles Barkley,
He'd be so mad if Charles Barkley like, oh that Adam Cole, he terrible.
but he
Terrible.
he would be
This Tony Khan is terrible.
Charles
Terrible.
Barkley. Charles Barkley would be like,
Terrible.
I guarantee that Kenny Omega will win. That was a
Terrible.
good. That would be good.
Terrible.
That would be really
Chuck
really.
like that. I know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But it's like I just think that this Kenny Omega did not. He's not that good.
That's Shaq. That's Shaq all day.
That Kenny Omega talks a lot of other stuff, and I tell you right now, Shaq did. So he go in there and
But Shaq is he's a wrestler. He's a wrestling fan.
I'll
That's
take
easy.
care of that Kenny Omega. Bring that Kenny Omega over to me, Chuck.
Hey, Shaq and Charles Barkley team up. That'd be funny. I know they can't even.
You know that's going to happen sooner or later, right? He's already been there once.
He has. That's why
He was with Jade Cargill against Cody.
Oh, talking about who's going for you guys on Wednesday, Jorge Masvidal is going to be there. He announced it that he's going to be there. this next week, Wednesday. So another reason, but he's not gonna be there supposedly. Now I don't know if this is true, but he says that he's being there as a fan. So
Well, listen here, Mr. AW. He's not that good. Or he might as well not that good.
he's not that good in the MMA world anymore. But
He's
he could be a
retired. He's retired.
he could be a very good he could be a very good wrestler if he decides to go that route. Shaq Diesel.
Terrible.
Right with the funny impression.
Jorge Masvidal is your savior for AEW.
No,
right
but
there, you should just tell TK, pack it in, buddy.
That's another selling point. You know, you could go see Jorge Masvidal. You never know. They might. I don't think they're going to include him, but he's a big fan of AEW. He was there last time for AEW.
He
So
paid him to be there.
Well, yes, he that time he wasn't. He was part of the show. Yes,
I'll show up. Tell TK to pay me, and I'll be there too.
But it should be, like I said, it should be a good show. Hopefully,
no, it will be. And then also, if you're in the Port St. Lucie area this Friday, CCW, me and Frankie are planning to be there. So see us there. Wednesday we'll be at AEW Dynamite, or at least half of us will be. Frankie Fresco definitely will be there. I'm not sure if I'm going just yet, but we'll see how things play out.
I'm gonna have to swing by and drag him and take him with me. But yes, definitely the CCW event, guys, come through, man. We'll be out there.
Yeah, and they got a lot of events coming up. They go all the way up to Kissimmee, they got Homestead, you got a lot of events coming up. So make sure you check out. It's CCW Live TV, I believe, is on Twitter, and you can see they got a lot of stuff going on. You can check out their YouTube page, but they've got Gangrel working as a trainer, Alex Chamberlain, another great talent. If you haven't ever been able to see him,
my boy Cha Cha Charlie.
Yeah, Cha Cha Charlie is there as well. So swing on out, support, man. Support the locals. We're going to get more involved with the local scene, as well as trying to get some more interviews. I think I've got 2 lined up at the beginning of next month, I'm hoping, if not the middle of next month. So trying to get some interviews involved and make it also more interactive, and then also, getting some people out just talking and then giving their stories, man. That's what we're all about, trying to help everybody out.
Well, next week, I'm sorry, on Friday when we go, I'm also bringing in my my mic and everything, so we could probably we're gonna interact with the fans out there. So if you guys are around that area or close by, swing by. Definitely would love to meet you guys.
Nate G, King Mahi, Karen S, of course. Nate G, Armando, Nicholas, appreciate you, Cap for life. Terry, always my dad. AKW Beats. I don't know if I said Terry already. If I did, my dad and everybody else. Frankie Fresco, anything to say before we part ways?
Performance of the week.
Oh, yes. Sorry, performer of the week.
Before we go.
Man, I almost did 1 week. I got it. The second week, I almost cut it out already. Look at that.
I'm going to go with Buddy Matthews fight against Orange Cassidy. That was a really good fight. Buddy Matthews surprised me, and Orange Cassidy went for a while. And on like a second, like right below them, I would have to say that Darby Allin fight that he had with Swerve Strickland was really good as well.
That was very good. In fact, again, the in-ring stuff I have no issues with, man. The performers, it's just more of tying everything together to make it. It feels like they're just let's have great matches, throw them all out there, and they're not building to anything except for a few. You got a few that, don't get me wrong, they're doing. I just don't feel like they're tying everything up with a bow like they should. For me, my performer of the week, he does it in the squared circle all the time, and this weekend, Johnny Boxing.
Really?
John Hennigan wins his fight. He won this boxing match this weekend.
Okay.
He had his wife, which is Taya, in his corner. He had LA Knight was there. Forgot who else. They had a whole corner of like wrestlers.
So AKA Van Morrison, right?
It was John Morrison.
John Morrison.
Nitro.
There you go.
Johnny Impact, it's Johnny Elite, it's Johnny Honor, it's Johnny. What was he in GCW? What was he called
So
there?
many names. I saw that.
Basically takes whatever company he's with, and it's Johnny, whatever that company is. Man, gonna come on here and it'll be Johnny Squared Circle.
Did you see who he called out? He called out
KSI.
KSI. He did.
Yes, he did. He called out. I knew who that was this time. I was like, hey, that's our truth.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I did notice that. He did a great job. He knocked him out and everything. I saw that.
Out, man. So he is.
How old is he?
Oh, I don't know, man.
He
does all that parkour training. He's. You know what? All I gotta do is look him up. Hold on.
He's not even signed to AEW anymore because he had like 1 or 2 matches in AEW and then he left after WWE had left him. Had dropped him. So he's doing a great job. I mean, for him to go out there and box and just knock that guy
he
out.
had Barnett also was in his corner.
Josh Barnett?
Yep. He's trained him. Josh Barnett was the one that trained him.
Impressive.
He's 43 years old.
I knew it. That's why I was surprised. I was like, he did really good for his age because they were talking about it. They were like, yo, he did really well for him being his like debut.
Yeah, he KO'd Harley Morenstein, who is part of Epic Mealtime on YouTube. It was like a content creator type thing.
Wait, and, Epic Mealtime?
Yeah.
Holy snap. Do you remember what Epic Mealtime was? Back in the day?
No.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, those are the same guys that would do the bacon stuff. That would be like, spaghetti with bacon, and then they'll throw ice cream on it, and they'll be like, it needs more bacon. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same group.
Dude, I love bacon, man. Bacon is my spirit animal.
So if you guys don't remember, back in the day on YouTube, they would have a show called, I believe, Epic Mealtime, and they were like a gimmick, and they would throw bacon on everything, literally bacon, and then it'll be like, add more bacon, and more bacon.
Everything's Google it. Bacon, man.
Google it.
Everything is better with bacon.
Bacon and Epic Mealtime. It should be. It's probably the same thing. If it's them, that'll be so funny.
I have to find out. But
have you ever heard of that show? I heard definitely that show was like.
Oh, he came out as the mayor of Slamtown, John Hennigan.
That's funny.
He's got nicknames: Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, the Shaman of Sexy, the Wednesday Night Delight.
The Miz wasn't out there. I know he's good friends with the Miz.
I can't remember everybody that went. There was a few wrestlers. I mean, maybe Miz did, but there's quite a few. Moho Rawley was there. Okay. I remember him. There was quite a few wrestlers there with him.
That's so cool. That I like that they support each other, even though he's in boxing now.
Yep, he is my wrestler of the week or the performer of the week. And thank you for good call there, Frank, because I was about to throw it out. We did 1 week of performer of the week, and I was just going to let it slide. That's it. Done. All right, now this time, Frankie, last parting thoughts before we get out of here.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like. I know that we are trying to grow the channel as much as we can. Want to support Sean. You want to support myself. Obviously, Big O. Big shout out to all you guys. We also, again, we're going to do the draft next week. And then, you know what's funny? I besides bringing in, obviously wrestlers, we could always bring, other YouTubers that are fans. Like Dougie. I know Dougie, if you guys watch Dougie's a big wrestling fan as well. Maybe we could invite him as well. I know he does work with Big O before. So maybe we could have Dougie in here and have him talk a little bit of wrestling too, you know?
Some stuff.
But once again, guys, hit that like, show us that love. If you don't like us, hit that like. If you do like us, hit that like. Just hit that like, no matter what.
Yeah, all we ask is just, come on, hit the like.
Yeah, man.
By the way, who's been watching us and haven't been paying attention, the Marlins won again.
Yo, the Marlins. And you know what? The tickets for the Marlins right now are like dead cheap.
Yep. And the Cats routed the Knicks.
Really? I was surprised that the Knicks didn't.
7-90.
Wow. A big plug here for Burger King. If you do like Burger King, they do have Marlin buy one get one free coupons. So if you go to Burger King, you buy like a Whopper or a breakfast meal or anything like that, they're actually giving coupons where you could just purchase a Martin's ticket and you buy one, you get one free. So it's for people who like Burger King.
All right, and now for me, a couple housekeeping notes. At Sean_Stanley11 for myself, at Fresco Music. Follow us on Twitter. We send out the link to the show. We would appreciate, again, if you can, please retweet it out. See, maybe we can get somebody else to like and follow the show, subscribe to the channel here. And then also next week, I'll have it out there on the thing, but I did go and I got me a Google Voice number for the show.
Okay.
It is 305-771-1723. And if you did it in the little, what's it, Vanities? It's 305-771-1SCD for Squared Circle Digest. That's going to be the line. You can hit me up on there, send texts, whatever you want to do there when the show's not on. I will get them. If you got ideas for the draft, you can go ahead and send them there, or you can follow us on our Instagram or on Twitter. I think that's for both of us. That's our Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
And DM us, man. This is interactive. This is for all of us to have a good time every Tuesday night. Maybe it won't be 2 hours and 11 minutes every Tuesday night, but you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. And remember, everything is better with bacon. Bacon is my spirit animal.
Next Tuesday, sorry, Sean, to cut you off. Next Tuesday, the draft. Next Wednesday, AEW. This Friday, Port St. Lucie. I mean, guys, we're going everywhere. We're trying to give you as much content as possible, and we're just trying to grow this. So if you see us, if you want to come meet us, if you want to come and follow us, like I said, anything that helps the channel, hey man, we're always open ears, and again, much appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches us and listens to us. We love what we do, man, and I'm always grateful for what Sean has given me this opportunity to be with him. So I hope you guys have enjoyed both of us, and we're gonna try to keep going on for as long as we want to grow, right? We want to be like, I want to quit my job and do and be a wrestling
oh my goodness,
a wrestling
next week will be
insider
in Vegas for the Royal Rumble, and catch us there. We'll be at the booth.
Oh man, that would be so badass.
So good. Until then, I'll keep dreaming and keep eating bacon. So and in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, stay.